what's it? Oh damn! It goes in a world.
Not like this.
Alright, hello everyone. Welcome to another Shock of You thingy.
Hey, sweetheart.
So before we begin, there's this difference. There's two kinds of lecturers in this world. There's gamblers, lecturers that they bank on doing multiple lectures, hoping at least one of them hits it big. And then there are genius lecturers where
I want to do the lecture with you!
Oh yeah, sure, yeah, come in.
We have to watch our volume.
Oh, yeah.
Which is why I yelled slight yell.
Alright, so
because I'm a genius lecturer where he's a gambling lecturer.
This is one of the gambling lectures.
Genius gambler. Recognize the difference.
Geeked, locked in.
Geeked, locked in, tweaking.
90% of gamers quit before they make a
So, should I take over from here?
Yeah, just swift her. I don't know what's there.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Take over. I'll follow your lead.
All right, so you might have heard of this one manga called Death Note. It's a little underground. Not many people know about it. But what was unique about it was that it was successful in Shonen Jump, a manga collection or a publisher that was known mostly for comics about people punching other people. You had Dragon Ball, you had Naruto, you had One Piece. That's what they were known for. And all of a sudden, they had a successful manga that was about something else. It was like this chess game, mind game, two like deuterogonists going at it.
And it was gay.
And it was pretty gay, right?
There was lots of yaoi about it.
There was a lot of yaoi, and miraculously, it was successful. So the two people that worked on that, Takeshi Obata and Sumi Oba, decided they're going to make another manga, but this one isn't going to be about any of that stuff. No, it's going to be about making manga.
And that manga's name was Bakuman.
Bakuman. So do you want to learn how to make a manga today, everyone?
It's like Look Back.
You want to learn how to... Yeah, it's like Look Back.
I guess.
I haven't seen Look Back, actually.
That's cool.
So-
How to make the mangoes.
So who wants to learn how to make a manga today, everyone? Is everyone excited?
Welcome to Shaka University.
Yeah.
We're actually learning today.
So where does the story begin, Ed? Could you tell us?
So the story begins. Oh wait, you have your notes.
Oh yeah, I have my notes. I'll add them as you go along.
Okay. I'm looking at fucking Nikai in the back. Okay, so the story begins. We have our protagonist. What was his name?
Mashiro Moritaka.
He doesn't remember the name of the character.
He does not
the
remember.
entire manga of, by the way.
Here, just so you remember, it's Mashiro.
So yeah, we have our main character, Mashiro. He's in middle school, and he's kind of coasting right now. He gets good grades. He's well behaved. He's a good kid, but he's carries himself with a demeanor of like someone who's like dead inside. Like he's
pretty much accepted that he's gonna grow up and be a salaryman, and that's his life.
He's alive.
Like he's already like accepted like that point where you're like, this is gonna be my life. I'll just live like this. But he's in middle school instead of like being an adult.
That happened to me.
Yeah, you know how it feels.
You know how it is. So anyway, he's going about his day-to-day, and one thing he does, he has like one hobby, and he likes to like sketch and doodle in his little notebooks and stuff. That's like the only thing outside of like studying and gaming he does. So one day he leaves school, and he's walking home, and he's like, oh shit, oh wait, what's up?
What was he sketching?
Oh yeah, so one day in school, in class, he was sketching this girl that sits in front of him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, this girl that sits in front of him in his class.
This girl he has a crush on named Azuki Miho.
Azuki Miho.
Yeah, that's kind of not cool.
It's fine. It's middle school. It's okay to draw your crush. It's fine.
Simple little sketch or whatever. So the day ends. He's walking home with his friends, and then he's like, "Oh, wait a second! I forgot my sketchbook at the middle school. I gotta go back. I'll see you guys later." So he runs up to the sketchbook. He's like, "Oh man, if anyone sees me sketching Miho, that would be kind of weird." So he runs up into the classroom, and at his desk, he sees
Akito Takagi.
He sees his classmate, Akito Takagi. And Takagi went through his desk, he's holding his sketchbook, and he's looking through it, and he's like, this is crazy. What is Akito Takagi, the smartest kid in school, by the way? what's he doing looking through my sketchbook? So Akito Takagi, he looks up and he's like, oh, hey, it's you? This is your sketchbook? This is pretty cool stuff.
And he starts pulling out the sketches he drew of his crush.
And
he's like, oh no!
She was like, no, stop, don't look at it, don't look at it. And then Takagi is like, what? What are you worried about? It's not like it's a death note. And he looks into the camera. And he looks into the camera.
He smirks.
They're like, Mashiro, your art's pretty good, and I'm a pretty good writer. We should team up and we should make manga together.
Light change is crazy.
No.
Mashiro says no. Yeah. I will not do it. You want to know why I won't do it, Ed?
Why won't he do it?
Because manga killed my uncle.
Because manga killed my grandma, okay? Leave me alone.
So a long time ago, Mashiro's uncle, pen name Kawaguchi Taro, used to be a mangaka working for Shonen Jump, and he had a gag manga called Superhero Legends. And he was coasting off of the success of that. It got an anime, it did pretty well, figurines and all that. But then one day it just started falling in the ratings, and eventually it got canceled. Well, his uncle still wanted to do manga, so he worked all day and night trying to make manga, trying to get back into Shonen Jump, and it just didn't work out. And his mom told him that Kawaguchi worked himself to death.
Oh.
If you're looking for a camera stand, sure you can fashion something with that.
You keep going, you keep going.
Mercy.
So, the thing is, Mashiro doesn't buy this. He thinks it's like an excuse his mom told him so he'll feel better, and that his uncle actually killed himself because he couldn't get a manga into Shonen Jump. And so Takagi is like, come on, man, we should make a manga together. It's going to be good. Who cares what happened to your uncle? It's me and you. We'll be successful, don't you worry. And then Mashiro's like, you know, my uncle once said, there's two kinds of mangaka in this world. There's geniuses and there's gamblers. The geniuses are the ones that know how to make the manga that's the most popular, that's mainstream, that's successful, while the gamblers are the ones just trying to get a success in, throwing whatever they have at the wall to see what sticks. You want to take it from here?
I'm blanking.
Fine.
Wait.
They're like,
I think I actually know this part.
Okay.
I think this is where I stopped when I started reading Bakuman.
okay.
And then doesn't he go on like a whole thing that's like, the geniuses, they spend hours, like upon hours, agonizing over what's the most mainstream and what's like popular.
The gamblers
and they
do.
never win.
The gamblers do.
The gamblers do that?
The gamblers do that. The geniuses already,
They just
it's
know.
in their heart what's popular, and it gets done. The gamblers are the ones that agonize over what will be successful, and they keep trying at it, and they fail.
Okay.
And so Takagi's like, no, but we should make a manga together. I'm a good writer, and you're a good artist, and together we'll succeed. And Mashiro's like, I don't want to do this, and he heads home with his sketchbook. And he walks home, and he's like, hi, Mom, I'm home, blah, 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 blah. And he goes to bed that night, and he dreams of his uncle Kawaguchi Taro, about how he told him once, why did he want to make manga? Because he wanted to pick up women. And why did he want to pick up women? Because he had a crush on this girl too, and he thought this girl would love him if he was a successful mangaka, you know, popular, lots of money,
Because
all of that.
mangakas, like, popularly, what's the word? Famously get laid all the time.
Exactly! So, he tells the story, I tried to do this to get with this woman, but then by the time I was successful, I found out she was already married, and so at that point I just kept going from then on. It was sad, but what are you gonna do? And that was the story of why Kawaguchi Taro became a mangaka. And then Mashiro wakes up and is like, he had a point. I think I know where to go. Then Mashiro goes back, Mashiro gets a phone call from Takagi, and he's like, how do you know my phone number? I barely know your name. And then Takagi's like, Miho's friend Miyoshi gave it to me, and I just wanted to call to tell you that I'm going by Miho's house to tell her I'm going to become a mangaka. Why? I don't know. I guess this was a thing that you just did. You went to like a popular girl's house and told them like what you plan to do in your life.
It was a ploy. He was setting his plan in motion.
Ed knows.
He was setting his plan in motion. So,
He's nowhere.
so Takagi's on the phone. He's like, hey, I'm going down to Miho's. I want you to come with me also. She was like, why? He's like, I need emotional support.
I need to, like, he walks up to Miho. He's like, I'm gonna become a mangaka. And I'm like, thanks. Why is that guy there?
So Mashiro's like,
thing.
fine, I guess. So Mashiro gets out of bed. He meets up Takagi. They go down to Miho's house. It's like night, by the way.
Yeah.
He goes down to Miho's house. She has like this big, fancy sort of mansion.
Yeah.
Place. He has like
A doorbell with like a camera on it in like 2006. So that was weird.
Yeah. So
2000.
So they get Miho to come outside. Miho opens the door, and Mashiro's like, "Damn, she's cute as hell."
I think it's 2009 actually. Do you remember?
Like 2000.
Because I remember. Yeah.
Yeah, 2009. It was Time Up writing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Mashiro's like, "Damn, Miho's actually pretty cute now that I look at her." So Miho's standing in the doorway, and Takagi's like, "Hey, Miho, I just wanted to tell you that I'm gonna become a mangaka with Mashiro."
And Mashiro's like, what? And then Miho's like, is that right? That's so cool, Mashiro, that you're going to become a mangaka. And Takagi's like, yeah, do you have anything else to say, Mashiro? And then he's like, I'm going to do the art, and then like he's going to make the stories, and it's going to be really cool. We're going to be mangaka together. And then Miho's like, wow, that's cool. And it's like, cool, so when I do that, can we get married? Please.
Riz off the charts.
And then Miho walks back inside without saying a word. And then they're like, oh, shit, wait, maybe I shouldn't have said that. And then she calls back and is like, sure, let's make it happen. We'll meet each other once we're both successful.
Oh, yeah, we forgot.
She wants to be a voice actress. And so the plan is he'll get an anime, and then she'll be the heroine in it. They're like middle school still, by the way.
It's me, Shinzo Abe. I need you to get married and have kids, guys. Get married, guys, please.
So we already have a little thing going on right now. Mashiro and Miho, they're star-crossed lovers, I guess. That's a heart. Pretend that's a heart.
I see it.
Okay, going on.
And then what happens after? I'm blanking. I'm foggy in like the beginning, but once we get towards like.
Okay, then I'll take it from here then.
Yeah.
So, Mashiro and Takagi decided they're going to become mangaka together. We know this already. But Mashiro still hasn't told his parents what's going to happen. And that's like a thing where you have to tell your parents what you're going to do when you grow up, and they have to approve of it. So he goes, and problem, remember, his uncle died from manga. Manga killed his uncle, so he's going up to his mom.
Oh, my grandpa.
And he's like, Mom, I want to be a mangaka when I grow up. And his mom says no.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely
No way in
not.
hell.
And he's like, fine, I didn't want to be a mangaka anyways, and walks to his room and cries. And then Mom talks to Dad. Dad talks Mom into him becoming a mangaka. And then Mom says, yeah, you can do it.
Dad said a man has to live his dream.
A man has to live his dream. His grandpa also lives with them, and his grandpa gives him the keys to Kawaguchi's old studio, where his uncle used to work. Where his uncle died, by the way.
Oh my god.
I just want to say,
There's like still blood on the floor.
I just want to say, reading this like on my own, like. Because this is exactly what I wanted to do too. I got so excited at this moment of this kid like getting a whole studio to himself and running with the keys all the way to the studio, like calling his friend like, I got it, we're coming now. By the way, he's just running like in the middle of 9 at night, calling his friend like, we're gonna go to the my old uncle's studio and we're gonna make manga together. You gotta meet me there. And Takagi's like, hi.
It's 2009. What the fuck else are they gonna do?
So they like get on a train and then go all the way to the studio, and they open the door and it's lined wall to wall with manga, like old volumes of Shonen Jump, old volumes of Dragon Ball, Superhero Legend is there. They got One Piece, they got Naruto, they have manga I haven't even heard of. They got Bobobo probably.
They're looking through drawers, they're finding like rough drafts and manuscripts, and what the fuck did they call it in the?
They called it, okay, I read like a fan translation at first, and so they called it a name in the fan translation because the word for storyboard is like nem, like just like syllable nem, and so they wrote it out phonetically instead of just translating what it was.
The number.
than never. So I got used to calling them names. They're storyboards. If I accidentally say that, just remember they're the same thing. They're going through all his stuff. They find like a letter that his uncle wrote to like his crush and stuff. And it turns out that his uncle had a crush on Miho's mom.
It's genetic.
It's fated. Oh, and this is where they talk about storyboards. So you can explain what storyboards are, Ed.
All right, so storyboards basically you take once you get like a script or an idea in mind, you like rough out thumbnails with like stick figures of like the general what's going on in each panel, like a stick figure jumping here, next panel stick figure throwing the punch and so forth. And that's just to plan out the layout of it.
Yeah, so this is how you get your story together so that you could show it to an editor, and this is what I'm planning on making. And so that's going to be Takagi's job, is to make all the storyboards for this. And Takagi has like weird stick figures he makes where like it looks like one of these guys, and they just have like weird lips, and it's like they just look weird. This is like you know what I'm talking about, right? They have like weird, surreal like stick figures that he keeps drawing.
Like his apostrophe here.
So yeah, that's what's going on right now. And they're like, wow, this studio's so cool, but it's getting late. We gotta go back home. My mom's getting worried. Bloody, bloody, blah. They go back home. Next day, do you remember what happens, Ed?
Next day, they're at school and they're planning. They're like limit testing, right?
Right, they're doing sort of like, we're trying to figure out what our manga's gonna be, so I'm like roughing out different storyboards we have for different ideas of stories, and Mashiro's like working on like what the main character is gonna look like. They're doing that, and Takagi hands like his storyboards over to Mashiro to look over so he can say which one he likes the most. There was like one about like the sunglass pitcher, which was like a kid who was like pitching for his school like baseball team, and then he got hit in the eye with a baseball,
and he went blind.
And then years pass, and this baseball pitcher with sunglasses comes out and throws like a 70-mile-per-hour like fastball.
Whoa!
One of the many ideas they're churning out at the time.
And they're like, okay, but which one do you like? And which one does Mashiro like, Ed? Do you remember?
Oh god, which one? What was the first one they did? Oh, okay. So the first, so the one Mashiro ends up liking is this one Takagi pitch called Two Earths, and like the premise of this one is there are two Earths.
There's the Earth that we live on, and there's a real Earth. Because you see, the real Earth decided that they kept fucking up everything, so what they're going to do is they're going to clone everyone and put things like 5 minutes ahead of time or something like that, and whenever someone makes a mistake and things turn out wrong, they know what not to do, so they can prevent it, and everything's perfect.
Yeah, but then the people from our Earth figure out that they're on the fake Earth, and they want what they got on the real Earth, so then a war breaks out between both Earths.
5 minutes is plenty of time. That's all I need.
It's kind of cool, actually. It's a cool concept.
Yeah.
They have better pizza and shit over there.
Yeah, actually.
They have real pizza, and we have the
9/11
pizza.
didn't happen on the real Earth.
Wait, if you knew 5 minutes in advance 9/11 was gonna happen, what could you do to stop it?
It was a set time. It was like maybe 5 days.
Well, actually, you could tell the president they could shoot down the planes in 5 minutes.
You could, not in 5 minutes. You won't be able to get a hold of the president in 5 minutes. But let's say you're on the top of the World Trade Center. You can be like, I'll take the stairs. I won't wait for the elevator.
That's true. We could have evacuated everyone.
Right. So they're like, oh, this is gas, actually. We're going to make this. And so
Yeah.
they're working on Two Earths together. They decide they're going to spend their whole summer making this a one-shot that they're going to pitch to Shonen Jump at Shueisha.
So they're working on it. They're limit testing, seeing like how much work they can get done in a day. How much sleep do you really need?
Yeah. Mashiro's learning how to use a G pen for the first time, and it sucks. He's like, I don't get how this stuff is supposed to work. You can like subtly changing how much weight you put in changes the entire line width, and you have to like keep that in mind while you're lining everything. And if you mess up, then you have to pull out the whiteout. And if you mess out the whiteout, then you have to start all over again, and it sucks. It's so hard.
It's a miserable process.
It's a miserable process.
But they stick to it. What happens? What else happens? Oh yeah, Takagi, smartest kid in class, his grades start slipping because he's working on manga all the time.
No. Instead of being first, he becomes third in his class.
He's third in his class.
No! He's not even second. Oh my god.
But who took his place?
We kind of went out of order, so I gotta dig it out.
We did. Why is she all the way back here?
Oh no. Fucking comic show. Her name is Owase. You continue. There it is. Owase.
So, Takagi's place gets taken by I guess now the smartest kid in class, Owase. She's like this no-nonsense, what's the
Hard ass.
hard-ass, straight-edge girl who thinks doing manga is a waste of time. Takagi needs to stop fucking around and lock in and get a real job. Middle school, by the way.
Middle school, by the way.
Middle school.
Oh yeah, and Takagi goes home and she shows up at his house along with Miyoshi.
Wait, Takagi shows up at whose house?
No, Owase shows up at Takagi's house when he goes home, along with Miyoshi, by the way. And the reason for it is because Miyoshi wanted to ask Takagi out, but then Owase said they're already dating.
But how did that happen?
Takagi is not dating Owase.
So flashback. So middle school, it's like what, 6th grade?
It's like elementary school.
Elementary school. They just did their whole elementary school to middle school promotion ceremony or whatever. Takagi's hanging out. I was like, wow, this is cool. Owase walks up to him. They're like, hey, you're the other smartest kid in class. Let's both do our best. She throws out her hand. Takagi's like, oh, cool. And they shake hands. Like, yeah, let's both do our best in middle school. And to Owase, that means they're dating now.
And Owase apparently just hasn't noticed ever since. They haven't done anything.
They're like, you can't go out with my boyfriend, I'm dating him. And Takagi's like, what are you talking about? Who are you?
That's true.
This is some lawyer shit pulling out the contracts. Technically, we're still...
Wait, here's my whole thing though. After, like, you get off of Death Note, this is the most normal dynamic
I mean, that makes sense.
So
You could say the handshake was a verbal contract.
Yo.
So, anyways, that's happening. Takagi's like, Owase, we're not dating. Miyoshi,
Owase, get out.
I'm flattered,
Miyoshi,
but I'm not really interested right now. I just want to hang out with my best friend Mashiro and make manga together.
I'm married to my work.
Mashiro is his work, by the way.
Takagi say that?
Takagi said that he's married to his
pointed
work.
to the wrong person.
So, anyways, they get back to it. They spend their whole summer break on making 2 Earths, the pitch for 2 Earths.
What the hell?
And they make it's like 50-page one-off. They put it together, and now it's done. They're all exhausted, but they gotta call Shonen Jump and tell them they have something to show them. And they're like, oh shoot, we're like in middle school and we're talking to adults? That's scary. And so Mashiro picks up the phone and calls them and is like, hello, this is Shueisha headquarters, how can I help you? It's like, yeah, my name's Mashiro, and I have a one-shot to show at Shueisha. They're like, all right, and then they hang up. It's like, meet us at 5 o'clock, and then they hang up or something like that. They're like, oh shoot, we gotta meet him at 5 o'clock, and they head over to Shueisha the next day. They're like, they show up early so they can pace around it, because they're getting really nervous. They're gonna like be around adults and stuff.
There's like a big like Final Fantasy-esque shot of them in front of Shueisha headquarters. Like, you know when Cloud was staring
They
at
both got keyblades.
Yeah.
They're like shivering as they walk in, and they're like, hello, I'm here for an appointment. I'm Mashiro. And he's like shaking. He's like, oh yeah, Mashiro, just wait a few seconds and then meet up with your editor over there. He's like, our editor? Oh god. We gotta
have an editor.
They go over, they're walking over to where their editor is, and they like meet up, and they're like sitting there for a while, and who should walk in, Ed?
The goat. Hattori.
The goat is
Akira Hattori.
Oh boy, I remember this guy's face.
That's it, by the way. That's so sweet.
It's giving Ed from Ed, Edd n Eddy.
comes in making some real.
So Hattori walks in. He looks like
He looks like a monkey.
He looks like a monkey. He's like, hello, I'm Hattori. let me read this. And then he reads their like manuscript, and they're sitting there shivering. They're looking like under the table at each other, like, oh God, what's gonna happen? And he's reading it like, thank you. I'm gonna read this again. Again?
He wants to read
He wants to read it again? Is that good?
Is
I don't know. Is that bad?
a second time?
A second time? He's reading it a second time. He's like, yes, this is really good. Have you shown this to anyone else yet? And they're like, no, not yet. They're like, cool, I don't want you to show anyone else your work. I'm your editor now. Puts it down. I'm gonna see if I can get this into Akamaru or something. In the meantime, you work on your next project and send it to me as soon as possible.
That's crazy.
Which is like the best possible outcome for this
just like
situation.
They're that goated.
They're that good.
This is an interesting story. Here's some like technical notes on the artwork. Here's some problems with the story itself. And then he starts repeating like the whole, there's two peoples in this world, geniuses and gamblers. I think you two are gamblers. Let's make sure you have your best shot or whatever.
Yay!
Yay! And then they walk out.
Isn't
Hattori,
this like volume one?
So he walks off with their manuscript.
yeah.
They haven't shown anybody else. You didn't ask them if anyone else knew they were there.
I mean, no. It's just
But
like
he also doesn't pay them.
no, not yet. No, that's not how it works. They're getting there. They're on the process of getting a job at Showtime. This is how the system works. Hattori goes to like the editor's lounge where he's talking to everyone else, and this other editor comes over here and is like, "Man, this AG guy is really something, isn't he? This new Yellow Hit comic's sure going to be popular. It's going to be the face of Shonen Jump." Hey, Hattori, what did you find?
I found this 2 Earth comic by these middle schoolers.
Wow, middle school, just like Eiji Nizuma, but they can't be geniuses like Eiji, right?
Right?
Well, time will tell.
Hattori's like, no, they're not there yet, but give them 3 years and they'll outpace Eiji Nizuma.
He's
The
literally
golden child of the future of Shonen
He sees
Jump.
the vision.
He sees the vision, and everyone's like,
let them cook.
that's a bold statement there, Hattori. Are you sure? And he's sure. He is sure.
He's willing to stake his job on.
By the way, who is
He's
this?
literally
who is
betting
this
on
Eiji
two middle
Nizuma
schoolers.
character they keep bringing up, Ed? Because there's a little other thing that's going on now.
Isn't there like a cutaway where we cut to AG, right?
Yeah, who's walking up to Eiji's?
So walking up to AG's is another editor, also named Hattori.
No relation. They call him Yujiro to avoid confusion. Yujiro Hattori. And who else is with him?
Who else?
The chief of Shonen Jump.
The editor keeps
The guy in charge of Shonen
Is
Jump.
this the actual person in charge of Shonen Jump?
Not the real person, but
fictional.
like fictional character.
In this alternate universe
Yeah, yeah,
where
Yeah.
In this
a
second
middle
or
schooler even has a chance.
Yeah.
And they walk up and they're like, they're talking to Eiji Nizuma, and he's at his desk making manga. He's making sound effects with his mouth as he's like
He's going
making
like
this.
zip, pow, zoom, while he's inking his.
He's like standing up
He's
on
not-
his chair
He
as he's
doesn't
doing
sketch. He doesn't sketch. He doesn't do like a pre-sketch. He just draws it, and it comes out great first try.
Yeah.
He's got a really cool quill. I remember that.
It's
He's
just
got
big
like
ass feather.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're like, yo, what is up? Eiji Nizuma, we're here to pick you up. We need to talk.
That's AG over there.
This is Eiji over here. They're like, okay, we need to talk because what we need is for you to, because you're a little far away, so we need you to move to Tokyo where Shueisha headquarters is, and you're gonna like live in an apartment nearby so our editor can come back and forth more easily and pick up your manuscripts.
Middle schooler, by the way.
And he's like, zip, zoom, pow, sure, I'll agree to that, but I'll only become a mangaka on one exception.
So Eiji Nizuma, he wants the power to cancel any manga he doesn't like.
If he becomes the #1 mangaka in the world, then
When he becomes.
Sorry, excuse my
When he
bad.
becomes the #1 mangaka in
I
the
didn't mean to
world,
throw shade
He
like
wants the
that.
authority to cancel any manga that's running that he does not like.
That's crazy.
So the editor-in-chief and editor-in
Yujiro.
not chief.
It's like, I bet.
Oh, I bet, sure, whatever. Just get him over
The
to
world's so filled with mischief.
So yeah, meanwhile, Mashiro and Takagi are working on their next project. Do you remember what this one is?
Was it the world is all about? Was it that?
No, it was 100 billionth.
Oh, okay, I forgot.
Okay, so every human being on Earth is ranked between 1 and 100 billion, depending on how cool and rich and good they are and stuff. And we follow the person ranked 100 billion.
In dead last.
Dead last. The ranked the worst person in the world.
Can you describe this guy? What's he like?
Well, he isn't rich. He isn't well educated.
I mean,
And he's ugly.
He's
ugly.
dead last.
He's ugly for Shonen Jump standards, so he's not that ugly, but
He's ugly. He lies. He cheats. He steals.
he's everything you don't want in a person. 100 billionth person in the world. And so they're working on this pitch. They send it to Hattori. Hattori's like, this is alright. This is pretty cool. I'm going to submit this to
What was it? It was the Golden
Tezuka. The
Tezuka.
Tezuka Awards. Does anyone know who Osamu Tezuka is?
No.
No, tell us. Go.
Ed, you want to do the honors?
Okay, so Sama Tezuka is the reason manga is manga and anime is anime.
You need to elaborate.
He's the Walt Disney of Japan.
He's the he's Japanese Walt.
These are the awards made out to him to celebrate achievements in manga. And they're getting submitted for it. And they're like, if you do well, you'll make it to top 8 and your work will be published.
Yay!
And if you do even better than that, then we'll make 100 billionth into a series.
Whoa.
That's pretty good because that's what we want. So they're sitting at the phone all day waiting to hear the results of this. Like days go by, weeks go by, and they show up. How well do they do, Ed? They make it to top 8.
Yeah, it's like 5th place, right?
8th.
While they're waiting by the phone that whole time.
Yeah, they get a phone call.
Does
we make-
Takagi like start slipping to 4th and 5th in class?
No, he's still in 3rd.
He's solid third.
He's solid 3rd.
Okay.
He's like, they're like waiting at the phone and they're like, all right, you made it to top 8. And then the next day, you're 8th place. Happens.
Whoa.
Sucks. We're not getting published. Or we are getting published, but we're not getting serialized. So at least there's something good to gain from all this.
So just like their story.
Yeah.
Like their last.
Yeah. So
Oh.
is this where Hitler Epstein shows up at?
Wait, is
We could just drop it now since it's fitting.
No, yeah. There's like this. We're talking about the.
Yeah, of course we're talking about. You know who Hitler
Okay, so
Epstein is.
there's this kid in their class who also likes to draw, but he draws like
Lolly.
lolly and panty shots and shit like that.
And so like
Does he start like associating himself with them? He's
No,
like,
he's
yeah,
like,
act
wow,
friends.
you're in 8th place. You're so
see,
ass.
I read the notes here, Takagi, and it said they like the story, but the artwork is failing. Mashiro is your weakness. If you team up with me, Hitler Epstein, we're sure to become the best in Shonen Jump.
Hitler Epstein.
Takagi does what any normal person would do when confronted with a man of this caliber and punches him square in the face.
Rightfully so.
Was once the top student in the school. This is like
he's the 3rd student and he's beating up pedophiles.
it's like
This is middle school.
This is middle
This
school.
is middle school. Okay.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so that happens. Meanwhile, Yujiro is sent as Nizuma's editor. He comes by to pick up the newest volume or the newest manuscripts for Yellow. Or no, he picks up the storyboards for Yellow Hit, right?
Like Nizuma, I'm here to pick up the new storyboards for your upcoming manga, Yellow Hit. You have the storyboards for your upcoming manga, Yellow Hit. Nizuma says, I got bored of Yellow Hit. I'm doing something else. Day of, by the way.
Day of. By the way, he doesn't even have storyboards. He has the full manuscripts done for first 3 chapters of his manga. But they're not Yellow Hit. There's something called Crow.
Nizuma's new manga that he decided to make on a whim, Crow. He already has 3 chapters done. Yujiro takes like a look at like the scattered pages he has around his fucking room and he's like, what the hell? Why is this good?
This wasn't what you were supposed to make, Angie, but why does it bang? It's like, I'm not making Yellow Hit, I'm making Crow now.
Oh, it's like the creation of Harry Potter.
What? Oh, I'm sure, whatever. But I don't know anything about that. Yujiro goes back to Sasaki and explains what happened. Yeah, I showed up for Yellow Hip, but he's working on a new manga now.
If he wants to make Crow, let the boy make Crow. I don't know what to tell you.
Sasaki, the chief, reads it and is like, I guess it's peak. I don't know. For sure.
Crow then.
How fast can you make the storyboards for the next few chapters at AG? And it's like right now, literally in 10 minutes. I'm like, we'll allow it. Sure, we're publishing Crow now. We ball.
You're publishing Crow now.
Guess we publishing Crow now. I remember in this part when I read it, he's doing a lot of crow noises.
Yeah,
he's like
he was
cawing.
jumping and cawing
And like waving his hands like,
Who's stronger? 2 kids with autism, or 1 kid with autism?
super autism.
Super autism. Please.
It's not that it's a scale. There's just a super mega level.
We're power scaling.
They're on opposite sides of the spectrum.
Which one's stronger?
Hey, wait. Is this just more propaganda for Edcore Rollercore?
I don't know. I think Takagi's Rolling Core and Mashiro's Ed Core. I don't
For
know. What's
the
your opinion?
uninitiated, these guys have been in the Discord server, like, collaboratively adding on to a big fucking image that they've been working on for the longest time.
Like years.
Categorizing characters that fall as either Ed Core or Roland Core.
It's like a Venn diagram.
we've
It's the
decided-
most fucked up looking chart with no context. Because like on Endcode you have like
it's a
Shadow the Hedgehog
one-axis
on like Roland's side. On my side you have like Shadow.
have-
On Roland's side you have like Astro Dreamer and shit. And then in
You
the
have
middle
Cecil from Invincible, but he's a bald cat.
and then in the middle where you're like,
Judge
yeah,
Holden.
that's both of us. You have like Judge Holden from Blood Meridian.
And I think I mentioned, like, what the fuck? Why is he here?
I think the conclusion we came to is that Roland Core is boy failure with a little bit of girl boss. Ed Core is girl boss with a little bit of girl failure in it. It's like a yin yang thing.
I've got no
Tails is
fucking
literally
clue.
Yo, fucking Harry Dubois.
Fine.
You're looking at it now.
Yeah, I've never actually seen this.
Characters that are
Wait, Jackson, can you show it to the
categorized
camera?
as Roland Core.
Wait, let me zoom out. I don't know how well you can see the characters.
I also have the image for
Shout out to Yoshikage Akira being Ed Core.
Oh, he's still
Slightly Ed Core.
And
that.
fucking.
We have
He's
Lego
more-
Dion, can I have it from you?
Stars.
Wait, why is Ed?
Oh, that's Ed Core, right?
No, that's Roland.
Wait, no, that does make sense actually.
Yeah.
That checks out.
Let
Yeah,
me
the more I
zoom
think
in a
about
little.
it.
See, it makes sense.
So on the
Philip J.
far
Fry's
end of
Roland
Roland
Core,
Core, we
naturally.
have Noelle Deltarune and Cecil from Invincible. I haven't seen it. I've got no clue.
Roland is fucking.
We've got-
No, there's 2 Cecils. There's Roland Core is Cecil, but he's a bald cat.
Okay.
And then Edward Core is normal Cecil.
I've got
In the
nothing.
middle.
Yo, Ed
Cecil, no
literally-
one's in the middle.
Ed literally is Akuma.
We've got Gon on the Roland side. Does that imply Killua on the Ed side?
No, unfortunately.
No, I have to
So
soak it on my side.
Killua, what?
Roland is Terry Bogard.
I have Hisoka on my
That's
side.
a terrifying dynamic. Actually. Wait, so if
Weezer. I think that's
that's an ad, we need to add
it's on
in
your
another
side.
axis.
No, it is girl failure. You're right.
How would another axis be added to that? Like, how do we get
That's
more
more
shot?
I don't think we can.
Well, you know, like those Instagram posts with the 3 Venn diagrams
Shit, hang
on
on.
each other, you do something like that.
Okay.
You would just
got
put like
5.
Dion Core on the bottom.
That was him. Yeah.
I see. Okay, I get it now. So
Why, like Roland has
4 circles
duplicate-
kind of overlap.
multiple.
Copy. You know what? Let's actually.
Alright, should we continue the legend?
Okay, where were we?
We're the
Mashiro and Takagi just punched a pedophile in the face.
Well, I don't think
And-
pedophile is the best word.
Future.
This guy's gonna
He's a
grow
child.
up. This guy's gonna
He's a
grow up
child.
to be getting in Twitter arguments about the age of consent. And that's
Yeah.
9 years.
But right now they're like his age.
Yeah.
Right, so
Right now.
AG just like knocked it out of the park with his thing.
Crow's good.
Crow
People
is
like
great.
Crow.
Crow is like the certified hood classic.
Oh yeah, I
You go
guess.
to New Mexico, they have like Crow graffiti on like taco trucks and shit.
I guess
Water
this
my
is where
crops,
Mashiro and
then my
Takagi start
children.
working on their next project, right?
So they decide to start working on it. This is the one, right? The
I
one
believe
is
this-
all about.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So they decide to take the premise of 100 billion and like flesh it out a bit more. So they're like, damn, this world is all about
Money and intelligence.
and
Gnarly.
That comes up later.
oh yeah,
Make
money
it.
and intelligence. So basically, the premise is that
People, there are smart people and there are rich people. Rich people can buy the brains of smart people so they can be smart.
that's true. But then in doing so, they stop being rich. So it's like a constant.
Cycle of buying someone else's brain to
So
be smart,
the
but
main
then someone
character
buying
wants
your brain
both.
so they can be smart and then you're rich again.
But the main character of this manga, he wants both. He wants to be smart and rich. So the story follows him like gaming the system to achieve that. So they write up their little rough draft manuscript or whatever. They send it in to Hattori to take a look, and Hattori says,
Peak. Literally so good. This is the stuff. Let's submit it to Next. We're gonna submit it to like a manga contest called Next or whatever. They enter.
This just keeps seeming like it's like semifinals or something.
"It's always
They're-
We
it's
want to
always
go to this
semifinals.
one thing, and then
They gotta
send
get.
it
They
to
gotta
this
get.
guy,
They gotta.
and he's like, "We accept your thing, but now I'm going to send it on to what was the first one?
To Akamaru.
To Akamaru," and they're like, "Oh my gosh, I don't know what Akamaru level is." And then they send it. He's like, "Go write something else," and they go write something else, and they give it to him. And he's like, "Wow, I'm going to send this on to."
To Tetsuko.
And they're just like, "Oh my gosh, we've just gone double platinum. I don't know what this is, but whatever it is."
This is how it
Your-
starts. This is
your
how everyone's
princess is
career
another
starts. This is
tap.
the process.
This is where Kawaguchi never made it.
So they're getting submitted to Next. I think at the end they get like third place, and they get like I think the one that got first place was this guy called Fukuda. We'll learn about him later.
Wait, what did Fukuda submit for next?
He submitted like some car manga, I think.
Car manga.
Car manga.
I like cars.
It's gonna get good. It's gonna get better. He remakes the car manga into a motorcycle manga.
Motorcycle.
So yeah, they submit it, it does well, and they're like, all right, we're on it. And then like at this point, they're like regulars at Shonen Jump. They keep showing up and coming back. The editors know them. They're like, hey, what's going on, Mashiro? Blah blah blah. So Hattori decides, since Nizuma's working on Crow, that he needs editors. So he calls
No, he
Mashiro.
needs assistants.
Assistants. My bad. I keep getting the two mixed up. For some reason.
So Hattori, wait, it was this Hattori, right?
No, this Hattori calls Mashiro to be as Nizuma's assistant.
Yeah, Nizuma's assistant, so they can get like experience working on serialized manga.
And they're rivals, so they're not sure if this
They're
is the right
rivals.
guy.
They never even met this dude. All they know is that he's like another middle schooler who's
And they hate him.
twice as
Grr.
talented as they are.
They're like,
Paper
grr.
rattling?
Oh, that's me. Sorry.
So some time passes. They meet up at Nizuma's place.
Well, Mashiro and Takagi talk about it first, because Mashiro's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I'm going to be his assistant for a while, so I'm not going to be around to make manga. And Takagi's like, you know what, that's fine. I'll use that time to write up a new manga that we'll submit to Hattori. And this time, we're going to go for the Gold Future Cup.
So they split off to do their own like respective trainings, essentially.
So yeah, Takagi's working on writing his story. He teams up with Miyoshi. Miyoshi's like writing like web novels online, and Takagi's with her trying to help her make better web novels. Meanwhile, Mashiro shows up at Nizuma's house to become his assistant, and who should be there?
There it's Nizuma, Mashiro, and then there's also a guy by the name of Fukuda.
Remember that guy that like placed first in the last contest? Next. Yeah, he's also Nizuma's editor. And who else but Proashi Nikai? What's a Proashi?
Proashi Nikai. So, Proashi is basically a term basically for someone who's
Professional
always
assistant.
Professional assistant.
There are people. So the idea is that you work as someone's assistant, and then you use that clout to like make your own manga and spin off of this. Like the person who made Dan the Dan started off as the Chainsaw Man's assistant, and then did well enough, so he got to make his own manga. That's usually how the cycle works. Mashiro and Takagi are working outside the lines. Fukuda is working with Nizuma to like being his assistant so he can get his own manga. Nakai has been trying to do this for years and it hasn't worked out to the
Grown
point
ass man.
where he
38 years old.
38 years old. Like everyone's like, okay, Unk, over Nakai over here. Meanwhile, like Nakai keeps trying to make manga, it doesn't work out, and so he just keeps getting typecasted as an assistant. And he doesn't like it. He's like, man, I'll never make it as a mangaka.
But
This sucks.
he's cracked. His art is cracked.
How is it cracked, Dad?
He's really good with backgrounds, and that's like a godsend.
He doesn't even need a reference to like make a perfect perspective of like a building, like from like worm's eye view. He's good at it.
It's like how early Roland art, the coloring was clearly above everything else.
He can like make statues that are like perfect gargoyles or whatever. He's good at this. This is what he's good at. So anyways, Ed, what's Nizuma doing, by the way?
So Mashiro is like bracing himself, like I'm ready to meet this Nizuma guy who's been giving me and Takagi pain or whatever. I'm like, I'm gonna beat this guy. I wonder what kind of guy he is. He runs in. Nizuma turns around and is like, oh, are you Mashiro? I fucking love your stuff.
Dude, I read Money and Intelligence, inspired work. That was the best thing I ever read. She was like, oh, thank you. And then, meanwhile, Nizuma is so cracked he doesn't even need assistants, so they just sit around all day listening to music and talking.
And Fukuda is the guy that plays first, so he's like the prodigy.
I mean, I guess he's the prodigy. Nakai is the one that's in charge of all the assistants. And then Fukuda is just like there chilling with them as well. Like, we're using this time to work on our next manga or whatever.
Yeah, they essentially, cause...
Okay, so, for comprehension's sake, Fukuda is the guy that placed first in the last competition?
Yes.
Okay, and he likes Mashiro's work.
No, Nizuma likes Mashiro's work.
Oh, okay.
Nizuma's like the crazy kid, right?
Yeah, the crazy, he's making Crow. He's the one that's caw, and then he's like drawing stuff out. So anyways, Nizuma's working on Crow, and he's like, you know what, I gotta go use the bathroom, my guys, 1 second, BRB. Goes to the restroom, they're like, why don't we look at what he's working on with Crow while he's out, you know? They look at it, it's ass. It's simply not good, I fear. What happened?
Good.
What happened? He likes the drawing part, but he doesn't like the story part.
He doesn't like planning it out beforehand.
Yeah, and so because it's not planned out, the story is just ass. He doesn't have a villain. He doesn't have goals for the main characters. He doesn't know what he's doing.
And that's Nizuma's work?
That's Nizuma's work. That's the golden boy.
Okay.
So Nizuma...
Listen.
Okay?
You guys don't know the method.
No, like...
He's figuring it out. Don't worry about it.
Well, the thing is, he's not figuring out. He's just doing it.
Bad. It's just bad.
He needs to figure it out, and he's not doing it because he's not writing the storyboards first.
Okay.
He's supposed to do the storyboards first so they can plan it out, but he's not doing that because he's ass. I mean, he's good, but this is ass.
Let him cook.
So they let him cook its ass.
So Nizuma comes back and they have like a little mini intervention.
They're like surrounded like, Angie, I'm afraid it's weak. It's mid.
Angie, this shit is ass.
Angie, you fallen off.
And then Angie's like, really?
Like, oh no, I'm so sorry, Mr. No, what's he called?
He calls him Mr. Mashiro.
Mashiro Sensei. He's like, I'm so sorry, Mashiro Sensei. How can I be better? It's like, just plan your shit. He's like, oh, okay.
And that's why you do storyboards. Remember how he hates doing storyboards because he doesn't want to draw the same thing twice? This is where he learned, oh, that's why I do that. Oh.
I mean...
Thing is, he spent all this time making that chapter, so now he has to make an all-new chapter and a storyboard before Yujiro gets here. He's never going to do it in time, Ed.
Oh, but now he has assistants to help him out.
That's what the assistants are for.
Your assistants are for.
And remember, Nakai is cracked. He can make the best backgrounds in the world. It's so good.
His friends are here. Oh my god.
All is safe.
So with the power of friendship and teamwork, they bang out another chapter in the span of like 4 hours
before Yujiro gets there.
Like a short time. No one should be working in.
Yeah.
Middle schoolers.
Middle schoolers, by the way.
Cool.
Except for Nakai, he's like 30.
It is cool though that he's kind of got like the inverse of what Mashiro and Takagi have going on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I do like that.
I don't think I fully understand what you mean by that.
So,
Eiji's like at the peak of like his thinking process, but he's not like going through the work that needs to be done to make a good story.
meanwhile,
Mashiro and Takagi are working their ass off to find that one gem, and it's
Eiji's
not
a
working out.
genius, and Mashiro and Takagi are gamblers.
Yeah. I see.
that is cool though that like they have the inverse going, so like they're getting the fundamentals down, they understand what needs to be done in order to get the creative process going, and he's just jumping to final draft.
Yeah. So anyways, Yujiro finally shows up, the manuscript's done, and not only that, but Nazuma's worked on the next storyboards and is apologizing that he wasn't doing the story before. I understand now what I did wrong. Thank you, Yujiro-sensei.
Yeah, woo! Character development!
Yeah! And
He learned
Yujiro's
the
like,
lesson,
wow, that's
guys."
cool, I guess. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I remember reading this, I was like, oh wow, Nazuma's pretty normal.
And then, like, what do they talk about later? Fukuda is a little bit fed up at the moment. You remember why?
He's always fed up.
I mean, he's always fed up, but like, why is it right now? He's right in front of an editor and he starts spouting some nonsense about.
Oh yeah, he's mad at the way Shonen Jump handles like their like how was it?
So at every issue of Shonen Jump comes with a questionnaire at the back, and readers are supposed to fill out the questionnaire. Basically, it's like what were your 3 favorite manga this week, and then you send that, and then the manga that gets top rated does better in the ratings. Lower rated manga gets canceled.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, but like the way it is that the top rated the manga are placed in the magazine based on their rating.
So the best manga is put in the front, the worst manga is put in the back.
And then Fukuda's upset because this hurts like any like okay so mangas. They have like a harder time like building an audience and shit. Because you have people who pick up Shonen Jump only for One Piece, which is like always at the front of the manga.
Right, and then they don't read anything else, so they don't know about Zip Man, and then it ends up getting canceled.
Oh, right. So it also kind of helps out the guys at the bottom of the barrel because they can just flip to the back and immediately see it, right?
I mean, not really, because people don't just flip to the back of the magazine to read what's there. They either read like what manga they're interested in.
Though.
Oh, the questionnaire? I guess kind of, but it's not really explained that way in the manga.
Yeah.
I don't think Fukuda agrees with that. And so they're like, oh yeah, you know what, Fukuda, that's a pretty good point. I'll talk with the other editors about it and see if we can get that changed. And then Fukuda's like, also there should be swimsuit models on the front of every issue. And he's like, oh, we need women in bikinis every time at the front of every. It's like, wait.
You're pushing your luck, Scoot. You're pushing your luck.
You got too much dip on your chin.
Yeah.
Can you give me a water?
You need to
Or Stella?
Yeah.
Or Faber?
Alright, well then what happened?
Garcias.
Then they're like, okay, well now that we finished working on that chapter, I guess we could go like home now. But like, do you need any more help, AG? It seems like you got things carried from now on. Like, you don't really need assistance, right, AG? And he's like, no, I don't need assistance. And they're like, all right, we quit.
Yeah, one day.
They're like, they were his assistant for one day and they leave. Nakai stays because he's basically been like just made into assistant man. So he's still working as an assistant.
Man.
You're coming with me. Yeah, he's a pro Ashi. That's just how the life is. The rest of them like leave and they're like, I spent one day working for Eiji Nizuma. It's time to call
a better understanding of manga.
Yeah, it's time to call Takagi to see what he's been on, and he's been writing like romance novels with Miyoshi.
Aww.
Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention this, but Mashiro and Takagi, since they're a team, they need a pen name for both of them as one. So what do they call them, Ed?
Mashirogi Muto.
Ashirogi
Muto.
Ashirogi Muto is the name
What?
of our
Ashi
duo.
on my Rogi to like Muto.
That is a crazy name, actually.
Because it contains the Ashi from Ashiro and Ogi, and then and then Akido is Udo.
Do they comment on this sounding at all like a strange name, or they're like, oh, that's pretty normal?
No, that's normal.
It's pretty strange.
It's a pretty normal name.
Normal
Okay.
by manga conventions.
Yeah. So that's Ashirogi Muto. I guess we should, while we're doing this, you want to continue with what's going on with Mashiro and Takagi while they talk? I'm going to organize this a bit better.
I have no clue.
Mashiro's like, hey Takagi, how's the concept going? How's the next manga coming along?
All right, he doesn't. He hasn't been working on. He's been busy working on the romance novels with Miyoshi.
Continue.
So Mashiro's like, dude, come on, we're supposed to be training, using our time to like plan for our next big submission, and you're over here dilly-dallying.
Bro, lock in.
Literally
Dilly-dallying.
He's like, you know what, you're right. I'll get something done by the end of the summer. And by the way, it's a year's past. It's 2010 now. So anyways, what happens then? Does Takagi get it done, Ed? Does he get it done?
I don't know. He doesn't get it.
He does not get it done. He's lacking. He can't come up with anything.
He got.
Oh yeah, I forgot. They were talking about specifically they wanted to make a mainstream battle manga, and Takagi couldn't come up with anything. So instead of just submitting what he had, he just said, "Yeah, I don't got anything, buddy. I didn't do any work." And then Mashiro was like, "Okay, we're done. Bye." And they split off.
So sad.
They break up.
They break up.
Wait,
It's so
what?
sad.
No.
They're no longer working together. And then
Are they
Miyoshi's coming to Mashiro is like, wait, you guys split up? Why would you do that? You were best friends. And Mashiro's like, he didn't get anything done. And Miyoshi's like, no, that's my fault because he was working on my web novels.
Oh, by the way,
no.
I forgot. We forgot to mention, but Miyoshi's been hanging out at their place.
Oh yeah, like while they're working on manga, she plays like a sort of maid role. She like
She
cleans up
comes
the
by the
place.
studio. She like helps them ink some pages, do like the screen film some.
Yeah, she cleans up the
So
place.
she's
She
basically
brings
their
them food
assistant.
and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's their assistant.
And Miho's in the background trying to become a voice actress.
Because Miho is absent because Mashiro and they
Miho-
promised each other
They
to
wouldn't
not
see
meet-
each other
They
till their
would not
dreams
see
came
each
true.
other until their dreams.
Guys,
came true.
get married, please.
No, not
Get
until their
married,
dreams
have
come
kids.
true. So that's happening, right?
Yeah.
So Mashiro decides, you know what, I gotta come up with my own
I need to
story.
stand on my own 2 feet.
Exactly.
I'm gonna come up with a manga. How about wait, what it was?
What if it was a detective, right?
Yeah. What if I made like a detective, but he tricks people into admitting their crimes?
A con man detective.
Oh, like the shadow.
Detective trap.
Yeah, that's so cool. I should totally do this.
That's just such a good idea.
That is a fantastic.
Mashiro is like, all right, I know what to do. I'm gonna bring this to Hattori. So Mashiro shows up at Shueisha with Hattori. Is like, Hattori's like, where's Takagi, right? Like, what are you doing on your own?
Right now.
It's like, you're not seeing each other? Are you sure about that, Mashiro? Mashiro's like, yeah, he didn't get his work done, so we just split up. And then Hattori's like, oh, one sec, I gotta use the restroom. Hello, Takagi, is this you? I'm calling. Takagi? Hello, Takagi? Takagi, hello. Is it true that you two split up?
Yeah.
What, why? Why did you guys split up? What happened?
I just had a hard time coming up with a manga to write, but I got something new.
Okay.
So I was thinking about making a detective manga.
Wait, keep going?
So basically, it was gonna be this detective manga, but it's gonna have the detective. He tricks people. Admitting their crime.
No way. That sounds like gas.
way.
Listen, send me the storyboards when you have them done. I'm meeting with Mashiro right now, but if you trust me, you two are going to be working together again, okay? Okay, don't talk to Mashiro at all for the next 6 months. BRB. Sorry about that. It's just a bad night. Whatever. So Mashiro, we're talking about this manga you're working on, right? This detective trap manga. I think it's pretty good, actually. You know? So I think we could get this published. And then another editor walks in and is like, oh, hey, Mashiro, I heard you did some editing work for Nizuma. I've been needing some, like, character designs for this other project I'm working on. Hattori body blocks that guy. He, like, stands off his, like, hop-off goat.
He's like barking.
He's like, arr, arr, arr. He's like, ooh, all right, fine, geez.
I did not know it was that serious. My mistake, original gangsta.
Hattori goes back, he sits back there and is like, sorry about that, Mashiro. You know, maybe that was wrong. Maybe you do not want to work with Takagi anymore and you want to just do, like, basic character design work. If that's the case, I can go apologize to that guy, I can let him talk to you about his ideas or whatever. Is that what you want? Do you want to work with Takagi again, or do you want to go back and work with, like, Shueisha forever?
He wants to work with Takagi.
I want to work with Takagi! He starts crying, and Hattori's like, okay, then listen to me. You should work on this project and don't speak to him for 6 months.
He's like rubbing his hands together.
Yeah.
I know you two are eager to get into the business, but this is a slow process. You just gotta trust me, okay? And Himashi was like, alright.
And they submit it and it's pixel for pixel the exact same.
So what happens is Mashiro and Takagi are like hiding from each other from class to class. They like pass each other and they're like just walking through the halls trying to avoid each other as much as possible. Miyoshi's like, Mashiro, you gotta talk to Takagi, you gotta get back together again. And Mashiro's like, no, I can't. He failed me once, I don't want to be failed again. Miho's getting sad, like, what happened between you and Takagi? I don't think I can do it if you guys aren't working together. I'm so sad. And then Mashiro's like, no, don't be sad. It's gonna be alright in the end, trust me. So Takagi, at one point, he decides to break kayfabe. He walks into Mashiro while he's on the rooftop of the school. He's like, yo, check this out. Hands in storyboards. Mashiro's looking through them and is like, what is this? Is this the same thing I'm working on? And they both just start laughing at the fact that they both parallel made the exact same manga together without even talking to each other about it.
That's crazy.
It's crazy.
And they're like, there's no fucking way.
There's no way!
What's this nuts? Hattori literally played us for fools.
Well, I guess we were back together again. Oh, buddy, old pal of mine!
Yeah, they're back together, so Ashirogi Mudo is real again.
Ashirogi Mudo is real again.
Crazy if they made up their own ship name.
I was about to say the same exact thing.
And then Miyoshi's like, yay, you're finally back together again! And Miho's happy, and everyone's happy, and they work on Detective Crow to submit for the
Detective Crow.
Detective Trap. I saw the word crow. They work on it for the Gold Future Cup.
A secret.
But you know who else is entering the Gold Future Cup, Ed?
Who else is entering this Gold Future Cup? Oh, Fukuda.
Obama.
Fukuda. And you know who else is entering the Gold Future Cup?
Elon Musk.
Some chick named Alki.
Nakai is entering, but this time he has someone to work with, a woman named Aokiko. Who's Aokiko, Ed?
So Aokiko, she was working at like a rival magazine where Shonen Jump caters to young boys. This magazine caters to young girls. So she's writing
Shoujo
skip, I guess.
Yeah.
So she's, but Shonen Jump is more popular.
Yeah,
she wants to grow in career.
Yeah.
So she decides to get together with Nakai and work on a project. Fukuda's working on his own project called Kiyoshi Night. Mashiro and Takagi are working on Detective Trap, and they decide to meet up and share notes. Get everyone's opinions on their work so far. What do you think of this? Mashiro, they all hand each other their work. Aokiko reads all of it, and they're like, it's all ass. They're like, what?
Always has been.
Oh yeah, Ichi Nizuma is there too for some reason. He's just hanging out. He's reading this. I thought Detective Trap was cool, and Aokiko's like, you know what? I'm not showing you any of my work because y'all suck. I got this. Bye.
She's too refined for their taste.
Yeah. Also, Nakai
It's
has a crush.
almost like she doesn't like shonen manga.
Nakai also has a crush on her, fun fact. So yeah.
Oh, it's a woman. Okay.
Yeah.
Whew, I thought it was another small child.
Ah, it's a woman.
Grown ass woman, don't worry.
No, it's cool.
Well, so
Fukuda-
this is the first actual adult woman Nakai has seen in how long?
Yeah.
He's just like, you're beautiful.
I just want to mention,
I want to.
this is literally just some grown woman that's known for catering to young girls in her writing going, I don't like books that are made for little boys.
Yeah, and it's well, okay, I guess, and they pass it through. They everyone loves Fukuda's work, Kiyoshi Night. Everyone loves Nakai. I guess they don't really love Nakai's work, Hideout Door, because it has that shoujo element.
They
with
love
it.
Aokiko's work that Nakai helped with.
Was everyone just hiding the Shonen Jump volumes from her entire life?
She has not read any of this before. She thinks Dragon Ball is a what? She doesn't know what Dragon Ball is. What do you mean, Goku? Goku, where? Is there any more to this, or is it like, yeah, they meet up, their stuff is cool, we're gonna enter Gold
They
Future?
discuss their plans. They enter the Gold Future Cup, and then they split off to go work on their Gold Future Cup entries.
Yeah, it's so cool.
Seed planted, Nakai starts crushing on Aoki,
Yeah.
and yeah.
I keep saying it's Nakai's work. It is Aoki's work.
Yeah.
Nakai's just there. He's trying to coast off of the success of what Aokiko might make so he can become a better mangaka.
Yeah.
And also, he likes her.
Yeah.
So, meanwhile, there's like a band going on or something, right, Ed?
There's a what?
Oh, no. They're looking through all the entries, and there's one entry from someone who's not there yet. And it's like this thing called Color Fusical.
Oh yeah, so Drake decides to enter the Gold Future Cup.
No, you spoiled it!
Oh my
Because it was like, oh, this Color Fusical thing, we don't have any clue who made it. And meanwhile, there's like this guy who's running a band, and he does a song, and then it's Drake, and then he says, by the way, I'm entering the Gold Future Cup, vote for me, bye.
Yeah.
Like actually, like Drake. Like
I
mean, Drake.
I mean, dickhead musician. right?
Dickhead musician energy. So they're like, wait, whoa, he's just, a bunch of people are just gonna vote for him because he's Drake. This isn't fair. And so they decide, and then so...
They decide the simplest way to handle this is to just lock in and make a manga that's better than Drake.
And you're skipping so much!
Oh wait, what am I skipping?
They go and protest that show.
Oh, they protest first.
They decide that they're gonna boycott the contest until they decide Drake can't enter.
Yeah.
And then the Sasuke, the chief, is like, yeah, we're not gonna do that, but are you sure you're gonna throw your life away for that? They're like, you know what, maybe if we just do well enough, we'll win anyways. Good manga is good manga, and people will vote for it no matter what. It doesn't matter what Drake says. Hey.
Yeah. So they all lock in and decide to just be better.
Yeah. So they lock in,
Did they do better?
Did they do better? I mean, they enter the Golden Future Cup. Ed, do you want to say the results? Do you remember them all?
I don't remember the exact one, but I know that Drake didn't even place.
He got dead last. Color Fusical was some ass. No one knew what was going on in that.
Dog shit.
In third place was Aokiko's Hideout Door, because it was more of a shoujo manga than anything. And in second place was Kyoshi Night, meaning that first place went to Detective Track, meaning they are now serialized.
Let's
No
go!
way, let's go!
We did it!
Pog
So
champ.
are there any woman roles in Detective Trap?
Yeah, for her to
they're
voice in the
specifically writing
anime.
in like female protagonists
For Miho.
for Miho to play.
Let's go.
And I guess Nizuma goes back to this. Nakai goes back to work with Nizuma because Hideout Door is not happening. Fukuda, he gets his serialization later, so he starts working, and he has his editor team is just like a bunch of people that like dress like him, basically.
Basically like the punks and
Yeah.
shit.
That's funny.
Punks and delinquents.
So Kyoshi Night is being worked on right now. And there, Aoshirogi Muto is working on Detective Trap.
This guy is like Kujima.
Yeah.
Or the guy that made Yakuza. Like, he's that guy.
So Aokiko leaves to go back to working on shoujo stories, and she's like talking with some editors there. It sucks, but that's how the scene goes.
That's business.
Yeah. But Aoshirogi Muto finally
Do you want
having
another
their
one?
first serialization.
We could generate more art. No
Yeah.
worries.
Well, how does that go, Ed?
Oh, yeah, it doesn't go. You hit it.
So Hattori meets up with Mashiro and Takagi at their studio to congratulate them on their serialization, as well as to say that he's no longer their editor.
Oh, that's right. He gets swapped out with another guy, Goro Akechi.
Goro
No.
Mura.
Goro Mura, that's right. Akechi's a different persona guy.
Goro Mura is their editor, and he just kind of looks like a scumbag.
I mean, he looks like a gorilla in comparison to Hattori's monkey.
Okay, so
Yeah.
basically he's monkey.
Monkey.
Okay.
Monkey.
Okay, so basically, the editors, they kind of look like monkey.
Yeah.
Always, apparently.
Yeah, because Kojiro, he's definitely giving Sun Wukong.
I guess I should put this like right here next to Crow. And then, because they have a new serialization, they need assistants, Ed.
New assistants, new characters. So we got, I barely remember these guys. So we got Kato, we got Takahama, and then we have
Their own Proashi, Ogawa. I should
But Ogawa's like kind of chill though.
Ogawa's not like Nakai. He's cool. And he's like except like this is what he wants to do for.
Yeah,
He's just nailing
He
it.
loves helping people. He's great.
Takahama has like mushroom hair, so I hear that. So this is the new team working on Detective Trap. We finally made it, serialized. Let's become the #1 manga in Shonen Jump, and we can do it.
Let's go.
Do it.
Let's do
Roland
it.
Editor literally Machiro and Takagi. For real.
Which
Yeah, Roland's the gambler and Ed's the genius.
No, I'm the genius.
Obviously.
A gambler would say that.
Obviously.
What's the Ed Roland core for each Mashiro?
We'll do that after.
Okay.
Once we've introduced everyone.
We'll do that.
So they start working on their stuff, and what do you think happens? You read it, you know what happens.
Yeah, so Ogawa comes in and he's like, all right guys, here's the plan. And then he goes through like the scheduling, the workload for each week, payment and all that shit.
Yeah. He's planning the whole thing out. He's almost the manager of the whole thing.
He's pretty much the manager. He's like the most experienced person here.
And these
he's
two middle schoolers are like, we're getting paid?
Yeah.
Well, they're in high school now, because this is like a year and a half afterwards. So
yeah.
they are in high school.
Time is moving.
Time is moving.
So they can actually almost legally sell a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're like 16 now, I think, so...
Yeah, isn't there 3 years of high school?
I don't know. I just-
3 or 4, I don't remember. I know eventually they go to college, but whatever. Anyways, they're going through the schedules. Kato is just like, yeah, I like drawing. Woo. Takahama wants to be a mangaka himself. He's working on a gag manga called Business Boy Kenshi. It's like these two guys that are trying to come up with plans to make a bunch of money, and it's basically like what's that show called? Shoot.
It's literally Trillion Game.
No, I'm thinking about the Charlie D. Dennis. What was it called?
Oh,
Ed, Ed, Nutty?
It's Always Sunny.
Always Sunny.
It's basically It's Always Sunny. They're just trying to come up with new schemes to get rich, and it keeps blowing up in their face. So yeah, he's working on that while being an assistant. And then as they're working on the thing, the New Year's comes, and the thing is all the mangaka in Shonen Jump come together at every New Year's for a New Year's party. And so they go meet all the big mangaka there for a big party. It's great. Ed, you want to take over from here?
He needs some water.
So at the New Year's party, they're being introduced to like all the other mangaka and editors.
Yeah, they meet Oda casually. It's cool. You know?
Yeah. So then they run into this one mangaka, this like disheveled looking raggedy man or whatever.
Called Hiromaru.
What
can you tell me about Hiromaru?
He looks diabolical.
Oh my god. He's gonna get you.
What can you tell me about Hiromaru, Ed?
Hiromaru is what they call in the industry a manga genius.
He's a genius.
So basically his backstory is that he's also new to Shonen Jump. He's only been working there for like less than a year. Basically, he was on the train home from like his office job, and he decided to like pick up a copy of Shonen Jump. He's flipping through, and he's like, "Huh, I can do that." So then he does it.
No, he's like, this will be easier than working an office
this is
job.
easier than working in an office job. I can do that.
So
This
he
is Larry the salary man.
So he picks it up, right? And then he becomes a mangaka, and then he finds out it's harder than office work.
And then it turns out he hates drawing, but he's a genius, so his manga is a hit. He can't stop drawing.
Why can't he stop drawing, Ed?
He can't stop drawing because his editor, Yoshida, recognizes his talent and doesn't want him to squander it. So Yoshida does shit like, hey, if you want girls to like you, you should take out a really big loan and buy the sports car. So then he's basically entrapping him into...
Actually,
Good lord.
He's like, yo, Hiromaru, I heard you took out that big loan on that sports car.
Oh, man,
you know what would be able to pay it back if your figurine sales went up? You know, and even if your figurine sales went up, I heard Aokiko will like you more.
Oh yeah, Hiromaru has a crush on Aokiko.
Wow, what a surprise.
And like repeatedly throughout the manga, like Hiromaru is like on death's door, like lying down, like he's like
exhausted.
dehydrated. Somehow he's bleeding out. He's about to die. And then Yoshida's like, if you finish this next chapter of your manga, I'll tell you what Aokiko's favorite color is. And then he like jumps back up to like full HP. He's like, I'll do it.
I'll do it. I'll do it.
Yeah.
Good lord.
In bad news.
Oh wait, okay, sorry.
Do you want to continue?
The lengths Hiromaru goes to avoid doing work. Yoshida put like a GPS tracker on him so he can know where he is at all times.
Because it's frequent that Hiromaru will just try to run away from home to avoid Yoshida.
No, there's a bit where like it's like the Ashirogi gang. They're in their studio, and they're
Hiromaru shows up.
They get a phone call. They get a phone call from Yoshida. It's like, hey, if Hiromaru shows up, call me. It's like, what's that about? And then Hiromaru shows up. Hey, can I hide here for a bit?
Yeah. So in other editor news, Aokiko is in talks with her own editor to try again at Shonen Jump. This scumbag called Yamahisa. Yamahisa's like, I think I know what went wrong with Hideout Door. It's too
I really hate this guy.
Yamahisa's
doesn't like this.
No, he does look like this. He looks exactly.
That looks like Shaggy.
Yamahisa's like, yo, Aokiko, I know exactly what will help you sell your next manga. What if you put more panty shots in it? That will really do the trick. What young boys like is they like to, like when you show a little ass. So if you draw a lot of butts in there, then you're certain to guarantee an audience.
And she's like,
I'm just
It's like All-Star Batman.
Aokiko is like killing him with her mind, imagining him dying in 10 different ways.
But she's looking at the reality of the situation and it's like, damn, mid really does sell.
And I'm inclined to agree. That really is what he looks like.
What?
Yeah, look at him.
Wait, let me see.
The manga. I never seen the anime.
Let me see.
That really is what he looks like.
What does he look like in the manga? Do you want to describe it? Do you even remember?
I remember. He doesn't look like that though. But whatever.
So yeah, Aokiko's trying to like show more butts to like sell manga or whatever.
No, he still
it
looks like that.
says.
He's trying to
Yeah,
show more
He
butts.
looks more
to
like
young-
that.
to young
Is that what he
children.
looks
Yeah.
like? Am I mixing him up with a different character?
Maybe.
Probably.
Can I
Yeah.
see that one too?
Oh, fuck.
Who did you think that was?
God knows.
No, I was thinking of whoever was Shizuka's editor.
Oh yeah, maybe they're
never-
the same person. I don't
Are
remember.
they?
I don't actually know if Shizuka's editor is even named, but
No, because whatever.
it might be the same editor. You're right.
Art
It might be the
style
same.
change, I don't know.
Whatever. Anyways, what's going on after? I guess that's everyone that's introduced at the New Year's party. So they're like, "Yo, that's so cool." Oh yeah, AG and
AG's
Mashiro meet up, and they're like, "We're gonna beat you. We're gonna become the #1 mangaka."
It's like,
And they're like,
it's
"I
like-
hope you try, because I need some motivation to beat you, so I can make a better manga myself." Stuff like that.
So yeah, they got like healthy competition going on.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's chill.
They love that they hate each other.
I love that. What's her name? Aokiko?
Aokiko.
Aokiko. She's just like back again. She's like, I don't actually like any of this.
Yeah.
Turns out
It's
young
just how
women,
you-
young
it's
men,
just
I don't
popular.
care either way.
It's just what's popular, Oh, there's another scene where like Nakai wants to work with Aokiko again as like a co-author for her next book, and she's like, "Nah, you suck." And so Nakai starts showing up at her apartment and like sitting outside and drawing the outside of her apartment. And Aokiko's like, "That's weird. I don't like that." And then eventually
Did she say that like to him? Like, that's weird. I don't like that.
No, she's like, "What is he doing?"
She's too
This
nice
is-
for her own good.
This is played like a sweet thing. He's
Nakai is the 38-year-old, by the way.
Yeah. Aokiko is also an adult, so just for clarification.
Oh,
so
right,
it's not
right.
that weird.
It's still
It's
weird.
It's still weird. It's still weird. It's just it could have been a lot weirder if it went that direction. It gets to the point where Nakai's like
Outside in like freezing weather, he's
Yeah.
frozen. He's cartoonishly frozen solid.
in like a block of ice, and Aokiko comes with like a little umbrella, and it's like a sweet moment between the two, and they're gonna make manga together now.
No!
I like that you said no. That's what I said.
What an awful message to send.
I hate Nakai because at the beginning I thought he was cool and then he stopped being cool. He's like,
I thought he was gonna come up and then like get his, but then he just evolved as a person.
I thought it was gonna be like a self-improvement thing, but instead he just degrades.
So yeah, this is the start of Nakai's downwards.
Oh, the start?
The fall of a goat. So anyways, what else is happening?
Post New Year's party, working on Detective Trap.
They're like making Detective Trap. I think there's some drama between the editors. They're talking about Business Boy Kenshi or something. Oh yeah, there's a whole thing where like Takahama is listening to music while he's drawing, but Ogawa's like, you shouldn't do that because what if we need to talk to each other for like instructional reasons or something?
Who gives a shit?
It's not that important. It doesn't matter. Do we want to go to the next arc? Is there any like little tidbits we need to bring up before the next arc?
What's this? Okay, so this is before or after Business Boy Kenshi got picked up.
No, Business Boy Kenshi gets picked up later.
Okay, so next arc.
Yeah.
Fast forward.
So do you just want to bring up the next arc now?
You start and then I'll jog my memory.
So, shoot, who was it? I think it was Ogawa was walking into the office one day, late at night. Like, hey,
wait, who's Ogawa again?
Ogawa's
There's a lot of characters.
the like manager of the process.
He's like good Nakai.
He's like Nakai if he was epic.
Okay.
Good ending.
Good ending Nakai. Like this guy has like a wife and kids.
Yeah, he's just a working man. He shows up in the office and Mashiro is like fallen on the floor unconscious.
Repeat.
No.
Repeat. He's working himself to death. Oh no!
It is happening again.
It is happening again.
Twin Peaks.
Because remember, Mashiro is also going to school while making this manga, so it's taking a huge toll on his health to like do this job that's normally like 12 to 16 hours of work plus school plus homework plus everything else. It just got to him. He has to be admitted to the hospital. They need to check up on him. They put him on an IV. It sucks. And he's like, no, wait, but if I'm here, then I can't be making Detective Trap.
Detective Trap is finally starting to take off.
Yeah, and
it's finally getting like its own like fandom going. People.
Oh yeah, they're getting fan letters by the way.
Fan letters. It's like ranking high and all. They
have this one guy called Toru Nanamine who's been their biggest fan since they first started like publishing their work in Shonen Jump. Who keeps writing letters and is like, dang, I really like this chapter of Detective Trap. Keep it at. It's so cool.
This Nanamine guy, so cool.
Yeah, and then all of it is going away, Ed.
Yeah, so then
because if he's in the hospital, then they have to go on hiatus, and if they go on hiatus, then they're more likely to get canned because they have to take a break off, and that break means people are going to be less interested in the next chapter.
So Mashiro is like he takes matters into his own hands, and he has like who does he have like
Takagi.
He has like Takagi like sneak in art supplies into the hospital,
so he can make this
like works on Detective Trap while he's like hooked up in, like, to the IV shit and everything. Like he's that determined.
And then Miura's coming in like, you can't do this. You need to like
somebody
go on hiatus.
Like, so they're like, who can talk Mashiro down from this like ledge he's standing on? They're like, oh,
Sakai.
Azuki Miho.
Oh.
The girl he's doing all of this for.
Azuki Miho and them and him meet for the first time in years after they agreed they wouldn't do this. Right?
Before marriage, by the way.
Before marriage, by the way.
So they're like breaking their promise they made to each other, but it's for a good reason.
Because Bashiro's gonna kill himself if he keeps it up.
So Miho walks into the hospital room. She sees like Mashiro with like all the IV shit, and he's struggling to draw. He can't even hold his pencil. So she walks up to him
and helps him hold his pencil.
He helps him.
No.
It's like you can do it, Mashiro.
This is our dream.
This is our dream.
You help me come to mine, so I'll help you come to yours.
Real.
It's getting worse. It's getting worse. But then
she's an enabler.
So now who's gonna stop him from doing it? Anyone on this board?
Boyfriend.
His boyfriend.
Tagai.
No, Takagi is helping him too.
His boyfriend.
His boyfriend is helping him. His girlfriend is helping him. Who's gonna stop him?
His dead uncle.
Editor.
None other than the chief editor.
Oh my god, he's like, I can't
of Shonen Jump.
anyway.
Holy shit.
I'm just gonna put that. there for? Yeah, let's just do that.
So the chief editor, he walks in, he's like, I've seen this once before.
Because I was Kawaguchi's old editor.
No.
That's great.
And that's why they even came this far.
And that's
You're
why,
so right.
whether you like it or not, I'm putting you on hiatus. You get no say in it. Stop making manga now.
Right now.
And that's the final word.
That's it. So
They're on
Mashiro
hiatus.
is forced to rest and recover in the hospital.
Which sucks, man.
Because
I can't make my manga.
Detective Trap essentially disappears from Shonen Jump at the height of its popularity.
No.
But time passes, Mashiro gets out the hospital, and there's like, okay, we gotta start up Detective Trap, but
It's got like a Firefly effect, right? Canceled season 1, so it's remembered as a better
it wasn't on
show.
break
than-
for
it wasn't
that long.
canceled, it was like...
It was on hiatus. They were always going to continue it. So they come back. They're like, okay, it's been a while, but we're gonna come back with a new chapter. The new chapter gets 9th.
No.
It falls so hard in the rankings.
And
It
just keeps
sucks.
going down and down and down, and then eventually, during the next like Shonen Jump like higher up meeting, Detective Trap is canceled.
No!
There is no more Detective Trap. Takahama goes on to make Business Boy Kenshi into his own series, and it gets published. So I'm just gonna.
Who's his editor?
I don't know if his editor is named.
Wait, what's Business Boy Kenshi again?
The little comic,
Eddie.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Kato actually goes with Aokiko to work on what she's working on. And
Girls
that gets
Club.
introduced. Girls Club. Just gonna.
And
Something like that. Nakai is all Girls Club featuring Nakai.
Good lord.
So that sucks. Yeah, Takahama is working on BB Kenshi. And then whatever they're working on.
Balloon Boy Kenshi.
And then Ogawa's just in the background now. Shucks. Oh yeah, Miro's here. And they're like, okay guys, you got canceled, but it's okay. You still have a contract with Shonen Jump, so they're still gonna look at your work and it's gonna make it into the like serialization meetings. You just have to make something that's worth serializing. So what is the best thing to serialize right now, Ed?
The best thing, you should really work on a gag manga.
Cut.
First time, it was like the Sonic's Ultimate Genesis collection.
Yeah.
Banger ass collection.
That's what I had on my PSP. It was dope.
Hi viewers of Shocky University. The camera died, so Ed decided to take a Rice Star break, but we're back.
Hypothetically speaking.
Hypothetically, we're back.
Hypothetically speaking.
Ed, are you back yet?
Wait, I gotta kill.
Busy.
He has to kill. You
I
understand.
need to kill! Arrgh!
Alright, well, Jackson,
Yeah.
when Ed is done with the arcade machine,
He's
can
done
you
with
plug
the-
in the lamp for me?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
There's a cord right in that.
We're gonna get what are they called? Extension cords.
We have one.
Oh, do we?
It's over there.
Alright.
I have extension cords I'm gonna bring over.
Oh, please, we
So-
need more.
Are you done? Are you done?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need this,
Back there.
oh, actually,
You got it.
this is gonna be a weird angle for the viewers for a second, but.
Oh.
Yay!
I feel like I'm in my grandma's house. All right,
We're gonna
let's
get
do
some
it.
shit on the walls yet, man.
Yeah, we're gonna have.
Oh, true. You're right.
We have to be careful about how we put stuff on the walls via the.
Sticky tag.
As long as we just don't actually make holes, it's fine.
Mhm.
It's all
Like, I
good.
have my. This is taped with painter's tape.
It's all good, man.
So anyways, they're gonna make a gag manga, right?
Cool.
You know how their gamblers and their big niche was like weird sci-fi stories about
Right.
like what if you sucked and you were the worst person in the world? What would
Yeah.
your story be? That they're trying to get them to make gag manga now. That's not in their nature. That's not what they're good at.
Right.
But Mira's like, no, trust me. Gag manga is the most successful manga.
Sometimes you just
That's
gotta
really
sell
cool.
out.
Thank you, Deion. It's the most even if they fall in the rankings, they'll still be there because gag manga just sticks around even if it does poorly.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be funny. It just has to be there.
You just gotta make gag manga, man. And Mashiro's like, this is the stupidest idea I've ever heard. Go kill yourself. And Takagi's like, I concur, you need to kill yourself.
I concur.
I need to kill yourself. And he's like, no, guys, trust
If
me.
they were still in middle school, I would have believed you.
No, still trust me. How about you send 2 pitches, make one of them a gag manga, one of them whatever you want,
Whatever
and we'll
weirdo
submit both.
sci-fi shit.
And I'll read through both of them, and I'll tell you which one's better. And I'm gonna say it's the gag manga one, because you need to make a gag manga, right? You gotta make a gag. So Takagi and Mashiro are like, man, this Muro guy sucks. I hate this guy. I guess
a new editor.
we should get a new editor, but in the meantime, we have to do what he says. Let's make 2 manga. But wait. What if we submit the other one? What if we submit the other one to upcoming contests, to Legends? To Treasure is called. We're gonna submit it to Treasure. And Takagi's like, ooh, that's a good idea. In fact, I've been working on a good new idea for a manga called Future Watch. You want to read it?
What's Future
Mashiro?
Watch about?
Oh, Future Watch? Okay, so there's like a telephone, and it calls you. It calls you. You call yourself. It's you from 8 minutes in the future, right? It's. You got a watch that can take yourself 8 minutes into the past, and a cell phone that you can use to call yourself 8 minutes into the future.
That sounds convoluted.
Yoshi's reading this and is like, Takagi, what the fuck is going on? And Mashiro's like, no, don't worry, my art will make it make sense. Don't you worry, you're
Let me cook.
Let me cook. And they're like, okay, well, we need a gag manga too, so what are we going to do about that? And then they create TF2.
Huh?
So it's basically one guy gets bored, and so he hires 10 hitmen to kill each other.
Man, that is the plot of TF2.
Literally Team Fortress 2, bro. Nice.
They're like, okay, we're gonna show Mira both of these, but we're also going to submit Future Watch to Treasure.
Which isn't even that devilishly clever, because it's like, let's write 2 mangas, they don't want this one anyway, so let's submit the one they
Well, they're
don't
not
want.
supposed to do it because they're on contracts.
Oh wait, they can't work on a separate
Breach of
stuff
contract.
outside
Breach
of
of
the...
contracts.
Me when I breached my contract.
So they're gonna submit it, and then like, guess what? Miro works in the editor department, so he sees they submitted it. I'm like, guys, what the fuck are you doing? It's like, you submitted this behind my back, and you're like, yeah, because we think we shouldn't make a gag manga. And they're like, you should make a gag manga! And they go on an argument. He reads both of the pitches they made. They're like, you know what? Hitman 10 is really good. I like Hitman 10. I don't like Future Watch, though. Future Watch is not good. Hitman 10, though. Hitman 10 is good. And they're like, you're just saying that because you like gag manga! Urgh! Kill this man!
Send this guy to the principal's office and have him expelled!
And then they start arguing, and they're like, okay, fine, I'll let you submit to Treasure, but it has to be a gag manga or whatever. And if it's successful, then maybe it will get published through that means. That will probably work, but you gotta make a gag manga. And they're like, stop telling us to make a gag manga! They're like, you guys aren't taking me seriously. I mean it. You need to make a gag manga now. Like, okay, prove it. So he goes into Mira goes into the depths of Shonen Jump headquarters and goes through every single issue of Shonen Jump ever released since the 70s, right? Yeah. And he charts all of the gag manga through it and how well they did and how long they ran. And he brings all of that data back to Mashiro and is like, okay, so here's the deal. There is this clear trend that when you make a gag manga, even if it does poorly, it runs for a really long time. So an easy path to success in Shonen Jump is to just make a gag manga and coast off of the success with it. That's what your uncle did. That's what I think is best for you right now. That is the plan.
I mean, yeah.
We're gonna make a gag manga.
No.
Sigh, I guess. And so they're throwing together ideas on what if we put our own spin on it? Like, what if we make it that little weird sci-fi story, but it's also a gag manga, and it's called Rick and Morty. Oh my god. Do you want to describe what Run Daikahanse Tanto is?
Fucking butthead Tonto.
Butthead Tanto.
Did you draw a Tonto for you? No, yeah, draw
I can draw a Tonto literally looks like this. That's Tonto, everyone. Yeah, we need a funny shaped character, so they try to shape his head like a heart, but it looks like a butt. It's what's the plot of Run Daikahanse Tanto?
So Morty is this kid, and he's like, oh, jeez, I'm a kid, and then his grandpa's like, grrr. I'm an inventor and I'm really smart. I'm gonna invent something for you, Morty.
And so he starts making like shoes that let you jump really high, or no, it's shoes that walk you to school no matter what, or like a bunch of other technology, and then he tries it out, and it's like something goes wrong with it.
Like something's going wrong with the thing you invented.
And it's like, Morty, I have a crush on your high school teacher, Morty, and the high school teacher's gonna be voiced by Miho, by the way. Bro, they're like, yeah, this could work, this could work. This is it.
We're cooking.
We're cooking.
They're cooking meth.
They're like, okay, I have an idea for a long form story where the kid's like, I want a dog, and the parents are like, you're not gonna get a dog, and the kid like runs away because he's so mad he doesn't get a dog. But when he's running away, he finds a dog, and then he runs back and is like, can I keep the dog? And they're like, yeah, you can keep the dog. And then Rick is right there, is like, the dog is a robot, by the way. I made the dog.
The dog is a robot. I made the dog. I'm Rick.
It was me, Barry. I made the dog.
This is Run Daika Hansei Tanto, by the way. It's ass.
It's ass, bro.
But what does the in-universe world think of it?
It's peak. It's so good. Except for anyone who liked their old stuff. All their old fans are like, what is this?
They get
what
a
are
letter
you
from
doing?
like that Nanami
Yeah,
kid.
that
and he's
Nanami
like,
kid
What
is
the
like-
hell? This is ass. Go back to. I want more. I want more 100th billionth. I want more.
I want more Detective
This
Trav.
is. I hate this. This is boring.
Okay, so they're sending it to Treasure, right? To get it accepted, right? So they submit it to Treasure. And who's there but another guy competing to get in called Shizuka? This is like a short side plot. This guy is not important at all.
He's not important.
Shizuka, you see, is a gamer. He likes video games. And so we thought, what if I make a manga? I guess he's kind of like Hiromaru, where he doesn't like making manga, he just likes playing video games, but he's good at it.
Evil Hiromaru.
Yeah.
Quick question: does he have any other personality traits?
He's
He's a
scared.
shut-in. He's scared of the outside world.
Okay.
And he thinks women owe him.
That's all the same personality. that's the gamer.
So yeah, he's making a comic book where, get this, there are people who are not human, and the humans have to kill them. It doesn't do well. This is why I was like, this is just a short side plot. Shizuka pitches this book. It's supposed to be, ooh, Tanto is running against this real big book. And oh, look, Aokiko is also pitching their book at the same time. What's going to happen? And then, of course, Tanto. It was like green tea leaves or something. Whereas, like, every...
Time of greenery.
Time of green leaves, where it's like, every full moon, if you, like, look at a girl's panties in the right way, you can fall in love with her.
Wait, was that really the premise?
No, but that's how it came out. Because get this, Aokiko is like, oh, I gotta write like panty shots so this is successful, but she doesn't like women, so she doesn't like know the appeal, and it's just like,
Oh yeah, she hits up like Fukuda. She's like, hey Fukuda, you like women. How do I draw a panty shot?
and then Fukuda's like, yeah, I don't know how to answer that. That's a whole thing. But anyways, both of them lose. Daika Hansei Tanto gets pitched. Tanto is now running in Shonen Jump. Whoa!
Oh. Tanto frowny face.
They're making this. There's what are all the side stories that are going on in the meantime, Ed? Is there some other stuff going around? I know what happens before, like, they decide Tanto's ass, but anything?
Oh, when's
No.
the wedding?
Okay, so nothing. Got
Yeah,
it.
nothing.
All right, so Mashiro, Takagi are working on this, but Takagi's having problems writing for the teacher because he's out of his element already with a gag manga, writing a character that's a woman in a gag manga. He's a man. He doesn't know how women think. That's so hard for him. So he has to go and contact a professional woman.
One that's been an expert in her field her whole life.
Aokiko.
Oh,
Aokiko.
right.
So Takagi gets in contact with Aokiko and are like, hey, how are women? And Aokiko's like, women are pretty good actually. But you know, I'm actually having trouble with my own thing because I can't get this panty shot thing to work. So could you help me figure out like what? And then Takagi's like, well, I don't really know much about it, but I guess kids think it's really cool when they see like boobs and stuff. I guess they love that. You know, it's like they talk about like the like that phase of your life where you're interested in like the sexual exploration of like your sexuality or whatever, and it's like weird but whatever. Is they're having these conversations, they're like saying, so hey, how women, boobs, conversation.
They're just chatting.
That's it. What's going on with Miyomi though? Because for some reason Takagi's like, oh, by the way, don't tell Miyomi we're talking because she'll get mad.
Wait, where's Miyoshi?
Where is she?
I mean Miyoshi.
Miyoshi, my bad. He's like, hey, don't tell Miyoshi we're talking because she'll get mad. I guess she thinks we're dating or something. I forgot what... Are they dating? They might be dating. They don't really establish if they're dating or not, but they act as though
They
they're
might
dating.
as well be dating.
They might... Okay, they're dating, sure.
Like
They're
they aren't dating, but it's like the way they act and treat each other.
Hey, I don't want my girlfriend to know that I'm talking about boobs with another woman. That might be a conflict of interest for me. And Aokiko's like, sure, no problem. Hey, do you want to like meet up at the zoo or whatever? Nothing serious or anything. Just like to talk about other stuff, like about comics. He's like, sure.
No.
So Takagi is going with Aoki. And then who shows up but Owase? Owase shows up and is like, Owase, what are you doing here? And Owase is like, I came here because I saw you were a successful mangaka, and I said that was bad, and I think you're bad, you're stupid.
And to prove it, I'm going to become a successful mangaka. We'll beat you.
Well, first she's like, I'm a successful like writer. Look, I have like my book's gone triple platinum, but it's only sold like 10,000 copies. Where your thing has sold like hundreds of thousands. So I'm going to become a mangaka and beat you at your own game to show you how lame you are. And here's my book, by the way. Merch plug. And Takagi's like, okay, bye. So anyways, Aokiko, Ray, we gotta talk about like boobs and stuff or whatever. Whatever.
Or something.
Boobs or something. You know, if you were a teacher and you had a student, how would you feel?
Big normal.
Yeah, so Takagi like goes back home, he puts like the book on a shelf or whatever, and then while Miyomi's cleaning up one day, or Miyoshi, excuse me, Miyoshi's cleaning up one day, she knocks the book off the shelf on accident and inside's a love letter from Owase. Oh no, Takagi's been cheating on me?
You're not dating.
With Owase?
Girl, you are single.
So that's a big deal. Takagi is said, hey, meet us at the zoo again. We're gonna have another meeting. And Takagi's there, and Owase's there, and Aokiko's there, and Miyoshi shows up because she got the address from the letter, and it's like, Takagi, how could you do this? You cheated on me! And then Miho's upset and is like, Mashiro, I'm gonna break up with you over this. And Mashiro's like, no, Miho, no! And Takagi's like, wait, no, it's not what it looks like, Miyoshi. I literally do not care about this woman at all. Then Miyoshi's like, yeah, that's why you hid her love letter from me. We're through, bye. And then Takagi's like, wait, Miyoshi, let's get married.
Ew.
We're both 16. Yo,
I think they're 17 now.
No, this is like, they're like 19 or something. This is like...
Has it been that long?
I feel like it is.
I guess, yeah. So they're in like college now, right?
Yeah, time has been passing.
Okay.
Good gravy.
So like, let's get married, and then Miyoshi's like, what? You're just saying that to make me less mad. Like, no, I'm serious. We'll throw the wedding right now. But I just need you. I love you so much, Miyoshi. Please. And then Miyoshi's like, okay.
Yeah, but first you gotta meet my parents.
Oh yeah, first you gotta meet my parents.
First, you have to meet my parents.
You have to meet my
So
parents.
Mashiro and Takagi go to meet Miyoshi's parents. Like, Mashiro's there for moral support, I guess.
Okay, so basically what had happened was Takagi, he's so gung-ho about it. He's like, Mr. Miyoshi's dad, I'm so serious about marrying your daughter. I'll fight you for it.
No.
Right,
He's like, you want to marry him? No, Miyoshi's dad owns a dojo and is like, hello, Takagi. I heard you want to marry my daughter, right? meet me in the dojo. And he's like shivering, like, what the fuck does he mean? It's like, oh yeah, my
So then
dad's
he
gonna
calls-
fight you.
So he calls up Mashiro. He's like, Mashiro, I'm scared. I'm with me to the dojo. He's gonna beat me up.
And I just need you for moral support. So his boyfriend shows up at the dojo, right? And they're showing up and it's like, oh god, I'm gonna get killed out
This
there.
guy,
aren't I?
this black belt, this like 6'6" black belt is gonna kill me.
He's just gonna break me over
Yeah,
his knee, I guess.
it's like Takagi is there, and Miyoshi's dad shows up and is like, "Are you ready, Takagi?" And Takagi's like, "Right, I'm ready." He's like, "Good. Now that everything's out of the way, I need to tell you something. I just needed to. I just need an excuse to get out of the house so I could tell you this without anyone hearing it." And Takagi's like, "Oh, so you're not gonna kill me now?"
So they leave the dojo, they go to a diner, and they talk it over. And then during that conversation, we find out that Miyoshi's dad was actually best friends with Kawaguchi. And then not only were they best friends, but they both had the hots for Miho's mother.
And he was the one that it didn't work out with between him and Miho either.
Yeah, it didn't work out between him and Miho either.
Miho's mom.
Me and Miho's mom.
Yeah.
Miho mom and Miho mom.
Miho mom. Miho. So yeah, there's like they come out of that conversation like, okay, Mr. Miyoshi's dad, you're pretty cool. He's like he works in real estate, so he buys them like an apartment and like helps them like pay for it.
Yeah, and they're like,
So they are getting married.
they are getting married. In fact, I think the next scene is literally their wedding.
They're at so we're
We're at the wedding, and then everyone's there. A bunch of other of their mangaka friends are there. Hattori is there.
Hattori is there.
And he gives a speech actually. And his speech is like, "Hey everyone, I'm very glad everyone's here today. I'm so glad that this comic. What manga are they talking about?
They're talking about like
I think they're talking about like because like maybe no, I remember what happened. Fukuda's Kyoshi Night gets canned, and he works on a new series called Road Racer Jiri. It's all right, Jiri. Or maybe it is. Or maybe it's Business Boy Kenshi is doing really well or something. And Hattori's like, wow, I'm so happy that this other unrelated manga is doing so well. Doesn't mention Tanto at all. It just walks off. And Machiro's like, wait a fucking minute.
this fucking guy.
This fucking guy, why? He didn't even talk about Tanto. He didn't even talk about the Groom's manga that he... What is this? So Mashiro like runs out and then meets Hattori outside the wedding and is like, Hattori, give me the deets.
This is outside like the reception hall.
Yeah.
Like this is right outside.
Give me your honest opinion. What do you think about Tanto?
It's ass.
It's ass. It's ass. It's not good. You're supposed to be Eiji Nizuma's rival, and you're out here making mid
bullshit.
Lock in.
Tonto's the one that the fan sent the letter that's like,
Yeah,
This
the
sucks.
fans are like,
Yeah.
this sucks.
Oh my
But like the ratings are like, yeah, it's alright.
It's coasting because it's a gag manga, and gag manga just survive
They just
based off of
coast.
that. Yeah, they coast. So Machiro and Takagi decide that's it. The next day they meet up with the chief editor of Shonen Jump and are like, we're not doing Tanto anymore. This is ass. We're not doing it.
You're like, I'm not letting you. Tanto's kind of a hit right now.
And it's like, I don't care. We're not making Tanto any longer. We gotta make something good or we will never be able to beat Eiji Nizuma.
You're like, okay, yeah, the next thing you do better be good, or you're fired. From
You got 9 months left on your contract. You get to send a pitch every 3 months for the serialization meeting. If you don't send a single working pitch, you're starting back from square one. We're no longer hiring you.
Damn.
So they're staking.
They're like, yeah, we're doing it. We gotta do it. So what? And then Hattori's their editor again. Mura's gone. Hattori goes back to being their editor for this. They're like, okay, we got to get something good in 3 weeks. What do you think we should do, Hattori? And it's like, I don't know, go back to your roots. You know, that's what got you this far.
they have
like,
9 months to come up with their baby.
Yeah, they got 9 months to come up with a hit. Shizuka's gone, by the way. Also, Nakai is gone. I forgot to mention this.
There was a Nakai had a falling out in the girls' club.
Yeah,
he was being weird and making the woman uncomfortable. So they kicked him out, and then he
Well,
went
like
back
also their manga didn't get published, so he's now out of a job. He put all his money on it.
He quit manga assistant work, and he went back to live with his mother.
Yeah.
That was a 38-year-old guy, right?
Yeah, he 38-year-old man moving back into like rural Japan to live with his mom.
Deserved downward spiral.
Crazy.
God, what the fuck is
I'm throwing that away. He's gone. Ed.
Oh, okay.
Rip
He's gone.
Actually done for?
He's actually done for. He's gone.
Rip Nikai, bro.
Nikai is gone.
He's done.
Death of a goat. Not even a goat. He stopped being a goat a long time ago.
He was a goat for like 2 panels.
He was a goat for that entire arc where he was.
You had a good impression of him.
I had a good first impression. All right, so they're like, okay, we got to make a new hit. What about money and intelligence? Let's go back to that.
Let's revisit this.
But because we're missing something in here, because there's one thing that's also important, Ed.
Attractiveness.
Appearances.
Appearances.
Money, intelligence, and appearance. The new hit manga. Not only can you buy someone's brain, you can also buy their body and live in it. And be as hot as they are.
We're playing cyberpunk, you see.
Can you be all three? Let's find out. They pitch it, they send it to the serialization meeting, it just doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
They're like, meh.
Okay, to be fair, that sounds like a really shit idea from the get-go.
And so they're like, oh no, Hattori, that didn't work, what do we do now? And Hattori's like, you know what? Make a fantasy, like a mainstream battle manga. They're like, Hattori, that's a bad idea! That's what we're bad
Oh,
at!
they forgot who they were talking to.
They forgot they were talking to Go. Hattori puts up his hand and is like, trust me, make a mainstream battle manga. And so they basically just make Lord of the Rings, essentially. The entire plot is like they need to drop a ring in a volcano, and they're like, I think it's literally like they need to drop a ring in the volcano and they're hobbits. And that's the entire story.
Oh my god.
And they work on Blue Dragon. This is mirroring the time the artist worked on Blue Dragon.
So they send this to Shonen Jump, and it doesn't even get. They didn't even get heard out. They didn't even think about serializing it. They were like, get this out. They threw it away. They didn't even talk about it. It's like, oh no, that was a failure. Hattori, you told us to do it. And it's like, exactly. Now you know everything you need to make a hit manga. Now use everything you learned and hit it. They got 3 months left, by the way. Takagi has nothing. He's out of ideas. He doesn't know what to do. Does he?
He gets an idea.
He gets an idea. He calls up Mashiro, right? And he says, Mashiro, hey, meet me up outside Shueisha headquarters.
We're gonna egg it.
We're gonna egg it.
So Mashiro and Takagi meet up outside Shueisha, and Mashiro's like, what are we doing here? Takagi, what are we doing here?
We're gonna wait for Hattori.
What?
We're gonna wait for Hattori to come out of Shueisha headquarters.
And then talk to him?
And then we're gonna follow him.
What? Why?
And then we're gonna follow him without being seen.
Why would we do that? That sounds like a bad idea.
Just trust me.
Okay. So they follow Hattori outside of Shueisha headquarters, and they try their best not to be seen. Hattori goes into like a bar, so they follow him into the bar, or whatever. Or he goes into a cafe, they follow him into the cafe, and there he's meeting with Iwase, and they're they're in a seat behind where Iwase and Hattori are chatting. Iwase's like, I need a hit manga now, or I'll never beat Takagi. And Hattori's like, well, your work is pretty good, but you're not like an artist. I can find an artist to patch you up with. Like, I need the best artist. You gotta get me the best artist. And they're like, okay, I'll do what I can.
I think I know a guy.
I think I know a guy. And then Iwase's like, also, do you think I'm pretty? Hattori's like, I'm literally 20 years older than you. This is weird. Go, by the way, for that. It's like, this shit is weird. It's like, man, like Hattori leaves, and then they like hide their face behind a newspaper as Hattori leaves. Takagi and Mashiro continue to follow him. They follow him into like a bar, and there's Yujiro, the editor for Crow, who I didn't mention, but is also the editor for Fukuda.
I don't remember Fukuda.
Fukuda's the guy who made the Kyoshi Knight, Road Racer Jiri.
He makes the car motorcycle manga.
Gotcha.
He's like there. and Yujiro and Hattori are talking. And I was like, yeah, I was speaking with Awase, and she randomly asked if I thought she was attractive. Like Yujiro's like, what did you say? It's like I didn't.
That was kind of weird.
I thought that was just kind of weird. I told her that was weird. That was a weird thing for her to ask me. And it's like, yeah, I guess, but I mean, what are you gonna do? And then they're sitting there behind Hattori, and then Hattori leaves the bar, and they continue to follow Hattori throughout his day. And then I think what happens is that Hattori like gets on a train and heads home, and so they decide to call it.
Yeah.
They're like, wow, that was a waste of time. Why'd you call me here, Takagi?
Like, don't you see? We just committed the perfect crime.
What?
We followed him around all day and we didn't get caught.
Okay, and?
It was the perfect crime.
The perfect crime?
It was a perfect crime.
The perfect crime.
The perfect crime.
What if we made a manga about doing the perfect crime? And so hear me out. Let's say like it's a kid in middle school, right? And they look over to the other kid who has like a pencil case, and I get to this idea. What if I remake that pencil case completely? Like I get the exact same pencil case from the store. I fill it with the exact same like pencils and pens and all that, exactly used down to the detail of this kid's pencil case, and I swap the two. They will never know what happened, and I would have committed the perfect crime.
Wait, this is kind of goated.
It is, isn't it? This is my favorite thing anyone in this series writes, by the way. This is my favorite manga of the whole
This
thing.
is kind of Roland Core. No.
It is Roland Core. They're like, okay, now what if this guy
How do
decides...
they describe it?
What?
They describe it as they make a term for it. It's like...
Serious humor. Like Hattori says, you know, when you tried Tonto, you were trying to do funny humor, and that was a bad idea because you're not funny. You're serious, so you need to make serious
like
humor.
Hiromaru's manga.
Like Hiromaru's manga. Because the thing is, Otter's 11 is a hit because Hiromaru doesn't realize everyone thinks it's funny. So Hiromaru will have a scene where this otter guy will be like driving a car, and then like he'll be being chased by police officers, and then he'll look forward and he sees like an off ramp that he's gonna go up. He looks at like his picture of his otter family, sheds a single otter tear, and then speeds up it. Hiromaru is taking this completely seriously.
This is serious shit.
Everyone else is laughing at it.
No,
He doesn't know.
Why are we laughing at him? That's his otter family. Those are his otter children and his otter wife, and we'll never see him again if he doesn't land this.
This approach to humor sort of mirrors what they had going with like Death Note at the beginning.
Yeah, the whole like I'll take a potato chip and eat it. It's like it like looks serious, but everyone thinks it's funny.
It's still funny. It's
Yeah.
still serious.
And so they're like, okay, what if this kid decides I'm gonna follow someone without being seen, and I'm gonna go through the whole day just following another student and not being seen. And then he realizes someone's following him. The
Wait.
exact same
Dude,
thing.
this is...
And then it's like, hey, are you following me? It's like, no, I caught you. It's like, okay, you caught me. I've been trying to do the perfect crime. And he's like, I'm trying to do the perfect crime.
No.
And they decided to make a club for it. The Perfect Crime Party. PCP.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Go up and then make a left. Like immediate left. It's right there. We have toilet paper up there, right?
Yes.
Dope.
We have a lot of toilet
I
paper.
just thought I'd double check.
Yeah, so anyways, this is a smash hit.
Hell yeah, it should be.
Everyone's like, this is gas.
As
This
it
is
should
gas.
be.
It gets pitched. They accept it. I believe they accept it like on the I believe the condition is they accept it, but within 25 chapters he has to outrank Eiji Nizuma.
He has to outrank Crow within the first 20.
And Crow is like the #1 manga
Crow is one
in there right now.
Also, how did failing to write Lord of the Rings help them write this?
Because they realized they should not do anything like that. Go completely away from that direction.
Yeah.
Buck wild bananas.
You know what you're good at. You know what you're bad
So
at.
just
do it.
what you're good at.
Okay, I follow.
Do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck.
So they make Perfect Crime Party. It's a hit. It gets serialized, and now they're making it with their new editing team. Just move the top camera over away from here.
Editing editors.
By the way, is this around the time Business Boy Kenshi gets canceled?
Yeah, because I know Takahama blames Mira for getting it canceled.
Well, cause
Oh, Right, Miura became the editor for Business Boy Kenshi, and then it started falling, and he's like, it was all Miura's fault.
Yeah.
And so he starts making like a courtroom drama called the Miki Taka of Truth. I'm not spelling, I'm not writing out the whole thing. But he's making like a courtroom drama now. Anyways, we're making PCP.
Angel Dust.
Can you say the actual title, Ed?
Pretty
Perfect
cool
Crime
penis.
Party. Perfect Crime Party. And it's sick. We have our new editing staff. First of all, let me check. Nope, they're all new. All new characters. We got Shiratori, who's like, he's like this quiet kid. He's one of my favorite characters. He's just like a
very rolling core.
He's very rolling core. He's just like a cute boy, and he has a pet dog that he hangs out with. He apparently lived in France, and he wanted to become a mangaka, but his mom said he had to like draw like things in Paris instead
Become
because
a
manga
real artist.
because manga isn't real art. And he said, "Shut up, mom," and ran away from home to Japan. Yeah,
So his name means dove.
that's
all.
so cool.
It's just white bird and he's French, so it's probably dove.
Okay.
Yeah, Shiratori.
Shiratori. I love. Oh yeah, because his dog's name is Peace. He makes a manga called Rebuta in Peace later. It's
Okay,
cool.
I did it! Yeah!
Yeah.
I gave you the source material!
We got Orihara. He's just kind of chill. Everyone likes Orihara. He's like high energy and cool. And then we got Moriah. Moriah's like a manga snob.
Micah student.
He's a manga student. So yeah, that's the new team. We meet up with the new team. We're working on Perfect Crime Party. Shiratori is dealing with like family drama because his mom still wants him to like paint in Paris, and he's like, "Oh no, I want to be a mangaka." And then his mom's like, "Mangaka isn't a real job." And he's like, "Shut up, mom." Oh, by the way, Shiratori's homeless. He just moved over to Japan and doesn't have a home.
Oh, yeah.
So they're like, "Oh, hey, I know this is a lot to ask for, Takagi, but can you hook me up with like a house?" He's like, "Sure, my wife's dad is a real estate agent. I could probably hook you up with an apartment."
Yeah.
And then Shiratori's like, "Cool, that might take some time, so I'm gonna like live in the park meanwhile."
You could live in Roland Park.
He's living in Roland Park. He's kind of Rain-X core now that I think about it.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah, so him and his pet dog. His dog is wonderful, by the way. I love Peace.
Wonderful.
Him and his dog are just living out in the park and waiting for them to get an apartment. Mariah is going off about like how manga is real art or whatever, and how like you should like care about how you make it. I don't know what the fuck he's on about. Who cares? Shiratori's mom comes in and is like, "That's it, you're coming home right now. I'm done like feeding into this temper tantrum. We're going back to Paris." And he's like, "No, Mom, I'm gonna live here and make manga." And they like all stand up for him, and it's like, "Okay, but if you fail to be a successful mangaka, you're coming back with me, and you're working at your dad's can factory, so you better do well," or whatever.
Fan factory is crazy.
Fuck. No, the stakes are being raised, so Shiratori's like, "Oh man, I need to make a successful manga, but I don't know how to write. Takagi, could you help me write a successful manga?"
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna make a successful manga together. And so Takagi starts working on the Rebuta in Peace. I'm just gonna put that down here. Oh wait, he's not working on PCP anymore. What?
Mashiro's holding down the fort.
And he's like, "Hey Takagi, we need those storyboards done." And Takagi's like, "I'll get it done in a minute." Just write Peace.
In a minute.
In a minute. He's like,
In an Ed minute.
and like days pass, and it's like, "Takagi, we really need those storyboards." And he's hanging out. He's like playing fetch with Peace the whole time. Is like trying to help write for Rebuta in Peace. And it's like, in a minute. Miyoshi's getting tired. Like,
Again.
"Miyoshi, you never hang out with us. We're married and I never see you all day. All you do is play with Peace and help Shiratori make his manga. You're supposed to be working on PCP. What's going on?" Takagi's like, "In a minute.
I'm chilling, dude.
What's going on? What's going on with is Takagi abandoning PCP right after we got serialized? How could he do it? How could he do such a thing, Ed?"
So fast forward a little bit. Takagi comes back in and he's like, "All right, I'm ready to work on PCP."
Yeah, I was just doing that to help Shiratori. Instead of being Shiratori's writer, I wanted him to learn how to write for himself. And so I've been teaching him how to write rather than writing for him. So now that he knows, I can go back to PCP. Also, here's a bunch of storyboards. And he like throws them out. Damn, didn't know you were chill like that. And then Reboot in Peace gets pitched to Shonen Jump and becomes a manga. It gets serialized too. Let's go. That was a whole storyline.
Yay! Woo!
What next? Oh yeah, meanwhile, they still have to do well in the ratings because they still have to get like first place against Eiji Nizuma or else PCP won't be a thing anymore, Ed.
PCP will get canceled and they'll lose their job.
And they'll lose their job. And I just realized that this all happened before the Shiratori thing, so just put that in your head.
Yeah.
It's okay, it's okay. So Ed, would you mind taking it from here?
Alright, so they're working, and they're like finally starting to get some leeway. They're like putting together like writing strategies, like multi-week payoffs for arcs, so they can use like the conclusion of arcs to get like a huge boost, and that'll hopefully put them over the edge. And they get close, they keep getting close, and then right when it looks like, oh, they're about to nail it, something unthinkable happens.
Eiji Nizuma writes a whole chapter with no text. It's an entire chapter, no words are spoken, it's just the artwork.
Damn, cold as fuck.
Eiji Nizuma does not fuck around. He's trying to stay #1. If you want PCP to be published, you better earn it. Also, he's a big fan of Perfect Crime Party. He's like Perfect Crime Party's #1 fan. He's like, you better make it good or else it gets canned.
He's like, lock the fuck in.
Lock in.
And then that was already one thing, but then to make things worse, on top of that, he just starts a new manga.
He starts a new manga. Well, he starts the artwork for a new manga.
He becomes the artist for a new manga.
Who was the writer, by the way?
The writer, Awase.
Oh, I should probably put this over here.
Who is Awase again?
Awase was the guy that was
smart
like
girl.
the smart girl that was like, I'm gonna become a great mangaka and beat you at your own game.
Okay, I remember her.
And so they make Plus. Do you remember what Plus Natural is? Because I do.
Plus Natural, it was a manga about animals, and then the guy, he find the egg, he make the animal fight each other.
It was basically like Pokemon meets homunculus. Homunculi.
Pokemon.
They like have to grow them from an egg and like make special concoctions to create bigger, stronger like creatures or whatever.
Go, my homunculus.
And then it's like Crow's doing the artwork so it looks amazing, and Awase's already a great artist. So now they have to be Crow and Natural, which is placing like second and third.
Natural is like creating like an extra buffer between them and Crow now.
So they have to be both, and they're like third. Crow is first. Plus Natural is second. It sucks, bro. This is hard. What are they gonna do about this?
What do they do about it?
They keep going at it. They try to make better work. They try the same thing again, where they try to make an arc that pays off at the end, and they do that, but then it doesn't work again. You want to know why, Ed?
Oh, why? Because
Because Plus Natural and Crow do a crossover. Fuck!
Oh my god.
Oh, no, we're so
Oh my god.
Screwed.
Oh yeah. Before this crossover happened,
Crow gets an anime.
Oh yeah, Crow gets an anime before this happens, but then before that, there was like some mystery intrigue going on where Awase would come up to Nizuma's house whenever no one else was there, and it was just her and Nizuma, and everyone was like, "Huh, what's going on there? Are they dating, or is she trying to date Nizuma? What's going on?" And Awase is like, "Hey Nizuma, can we do it now? Hey Nizuma, can we do it now?"
And then Nizuma's like in a minute. And then I guess it turns out they were talking about the crossover and not like anything.
Not
else.
anything romantic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now what, Ed? What do we do?
They need to pull out all the stops.
They need to
next arc in Perfect Crime Party.
They need
has
to
to be the one.
What? How do they do better than what they've already been doing, Ed?
They go through Kawaguchi's old manga.
Yeah.
So they're finding out like, wait a second, it was really cool how in chapter 80 of Superhero Legend, there was a fun little callback to chapter 10.
No, that's a little. So you're going
no,
far
no,
ahead.
no,
Oh,
no,
fine, I'll take over.
do it,
I'll do it. Okay.
Fight.
So, what PCP is missing right now is an antagonist. Because all the series has been so far is let's do perfect crimes. And the crimes have been like, let's give everyone
We
like
need Moriarty.
We need a Moriarty to our perfect crime party. And so what we do is we write a kid who figures out something's up in the school, right? Someone's doing some crimes in the school, and he's gonna try and catch them. And so they set up this character who keeps trying to catch the perfect crime party, right? And he keeps going at it, but each time they're one step ahead of him. And then the next chapter, he tries again, but they're one step ahead of him. And then he gets a text from the perfect crime party. And the text reads, if you stop us on if you stop our next crime, we'll expose ourselves. We'll confess to what we've done, and we'll show you our identities. And then they write like octopus, like tentacle.
They write like a whole like puzzle riddle.
They write like a whole riddle that's in like katakana or whatever, and it's like what does that mean? And Takagi goes, well, you see. If you rearrange the katakana in this specific way, it says that you need to show up at the sprinklers during the fireworks festival. Oh no, they're gonna set the fireworks off early. That's what they're gonna do. So the guy runs over to like the baseball field where the sprinklers are to try and catch like them in the act of setting off the fireworks early. But then he's like, wait, nobody's here. What's going on? And then it's revealed that the rest of the katakana in that said sand pit. They're at the sand pit in actuality, and they set off the fireworks from there.
Wait, what?
The puzzle was a red herring. It led them to the wrong area. The rest of the katakana was leading them to the right area. And so he realizes this when it's too late. The fireworks go off behind him, and then the perfect crime party texts him and is like, hey, that was pretty fun. If you want, we'll expose ourselves right now. Just turn around. And the kid just sits there staring at the fireworks.
We see DC Universe manga. It's like a double page spread.
It's like the kid getting like backlit by the fireworks, and it's like, hey, I won't do anything. I'll find you out on my own. As the rest of the perfect crime party,
so
and you're like standing there in like the silhouette.
Yeah, like the whole team is there.
That goes like, so hard.
That does go so hard.
Chapter 25 ends. Ranking number 1.
Let's go.
We did it.
Owase's so mad right now.
Yeah,
Meanwhile, Nizuma's just like, yeah.
Wait, Owase was a fan.
No,
Mizuma was a fan. Owase was the hater.
Which is crazy. What if you love a guy so much that you literally team up with his #1 hater? Like, listen, it's for the lore.
No, well, how it's explained is that they basically showed the like storyboards to Nizuma, and he said he was so good that he wanted to draw the artwork for it. And then so he started doing that and Crow at the same time. And you're like, oh, he's so cracked, he can just do that. Okay. And so he's working on both at the same time. But anyway,
Nizuma really grew up for real.
Yeah, they beat Crow. Perfect Crime Party's #1 in the world. It's 2014 now. It's 2014 now. By the way, they're like 19, 20 in college.
Justin Bieber just came out with a new song.
Yeah, and Perfect Crime Party has been a smash hit. They're walking around and like they see like
they're walking past like a playground and they see a kid
doing a perfect crime on another kid.
Like, I just did a perfect crime on you. It's like, oh my god, our impact, our influence.
But we're finally here. We got the manga. It's a big hit. Now all we do is we need to make it a big enough hit to make an anime. So they meet up with Hattori, right? Let's do this. Hey Hattori, what's up?
Oh hey.
Wait, who's Hattori again?
Hattori's their editor.
Got it. Oh, Bear or Monkey Man.
Monkey Man. Hey Hattori, what's up?
Oh hey you guys, Perfect Crime Party's a huge hit.
Yeah, I can't wait for the anime to come out.
Yeah, we're getting like a drama CD, stage play.
Yeah, and what about, have we heard anything about an anime yet? Is there an anime coming up? Well,
so about that.
Oh no! What's up?
So higher ups think that the perfect crimes might be too imitable for children.
Imitatable?
Imitatable.
Imitatable. Oh!
What do they mean? They're not
Yeah, they're worried it might influence children to do perfect crimes.
Oh no.
But that's what we made Perfect Crime Party for, is the anime!
Yeah, but I'm sorry, but you're just never getting an anime.
No, we cooked too hard. We overcooked. No.
What are we gonna do now, Takagi?
Commit suicide.
Damn,
Before Kiri Kiri.
It's over.
It's fucking over.
It's over.
Circle the wagons, we're cooked.
Alright, so yeah, that sucks, but we gotta keep up. We're gonna figure it out, okay? We're gonna make a new manga later that will get an anime, but in the meantime, we're successful manga, we should keep up with this. Then we'll meet our dreams, right? Okay? Got it. Okay, cool. So what's happening in the meantime? Do you want to talk about what's going on with Hiromaru?
Oh, so
Yeah, clear your throat, buddy. You need all your strength for this.
what is that? Okay, so what's happening with Hiromaru is he finally manages to get a date with Aokiko. His editor pulls some strings and she's like, "Hey, Aokiko, you have to meet up with Hiromaru."
Oh, this was the fucked up, like she's manipulating him the whole time around.
No, his editor was manipulating him, not Aokiko.
Yeah, but he's finally getting a date with the person.
Yeah.
And his editor is trying to ruin it for him because if he falls in love, he's gonna become a house husband and just like live at home all day and eat potato chips and not make the best manga in the world.
And he can't have that.
Yeah.
So Yoshida does everything in his power to ruin their date, but the date actually goes really well. Like Aokiko's kind of fucking with Hiromaru. Hiromaru's kind of fucking with Aokiko. They got like chemistry going on.
They got like a little tea date going on. It's pretty cool. Okay, I think the actual Hiromaru thing I'm thinking about happens
like towards
way later. Okay.
Yeah.
So, do we want to bring up the next arc, or is there anything we're forgetting?
Yeah, next arc. We can go.
Is there? I guess there's just like a little bit of drama after Awase fails to like beat Takagi. She sort of loses her like momentum. She sort of falls into a little depression. Plus, Natural starts getting worse, and then Eiji Nizuma stops.
Plus, Natural also gets an anime.
Oh, it gets an anime too, but also Nizuma's like, this stuff sucks. I don't want to make art for it
I don't
anymore.
want to make Plus Natural.
And so that's a little bit of drama going on between them. But anyways. No, it's the, okay. There's like one side arc that doesn't matter at all. And it's the Love Festa, right? So they're all trying to write like a new manga for the next like big Jump Festa. And then Mashiro's like, what if I write a romance novel based off of me and Miho's love? And that would be cool. And then like, meanwhile, Aokiko's like, what if I write a romance? And then meanwhile, freaking Nizuma, I guess, Eiji Nizuma's also like, what if I write a romance? And then like, friggin' Chiratori, I think also, right? A bunch of people just start writing romances at the same time, just inexplicably. And so they all get pitched, and they're like, this is a problem. We can't run all romances at the next Jump Festa. And then Sasaki's like, no, we'll make it the Love Festa, and it will be all romance themed. We'll do a whole thing about it.
The fucking romance play.
And then in the end, Aokiko wins because she's like the only one who knows how to write. Like, she has experience writing romances because she did it for shoujo. Yeah. And so,
she's like the only one
like, Mashiro gets like 7th or something. It sucks. And then Nizuma gets dead last. Because he's only had like one crush in his life in like elementary school.
And everyone's like, there's no fucking way. We found it.
So Aokiko, she's making a thing. Kato is editing. Oh yeah, Hiromaru, like Otter's 11 starts falling in the rankings, right?
Yeah.
And so I think, is it now or is it later?
What do you mean?
When it... I'm saying a little too much on camera. I'll hold on that. We'll hold on that, okay? But anyways, the Love Festa happens, bloody blah. Who cares?
Who's that in your opinion?
Hell yeah.
The next character we're gonna introduce. What do you think I meant when I said next arc?
Oh shit, okay.
Alright, you wanna introduce this?
Okay, so Love Festa wraps up and it was like, damn, that was crazy. That just happened. So what else happened? this new.
This new manga gets sent into like some contest at Shonen Jump or whatever, and it's called The Classroom of Truth.
Okay.
It's basically Danganronpa, I think. It's kind of.
It sounds
death
suspiciously
game.
like.
Yeah, it's like a school death game kind of thing.
Literally
It's like a bunch of kids are in class one day, and then all of a sudden they get teleported into another dimension, and God is talking to them. And God is
You're
like,
still in the classroom. It's just the classroom itself is like in limbo now.
yeah, and God is like,
God
if you
comes
ever
on,
tell
like, the intercom, like,
fucking
first game,
funny,
if
bro.
you tell a lie, you die. And then someone tells a lie, and then they like shrink into like
They like
nothingness.
evaporate.
And then like a little speech bubble appears where they died that says what they actually meant. And then the teacher's like, okay class, we need to stick together. And then he disappears, and there's a little speech bubble that's like, I gotta make sure these kids die first so I don't.
Whoa.
That's crazy, actually. Holy shit.
It's messed up.
These
But they're like,
concepts that they come up with are fucking crazy.
but they're like, wow, this is a pretty good book, but something's missing about it. I don't know. It looks like it'll be
Something
successful. Something's weird about
What
it.
does Nazuma think about it?
Nazuma thinks it's empty. Nazuma reads it and is like, I think it's good, but I can't figure out anything about the person who
Yeah,
wrote
I
it.
can't see the artist's voice.
Yeah, something about it is empty. It's weird. And who wrote it, by the way? Who wrote this new manga?
So it turns out it's this new up and comer. You've heard of him before, but Nanamine.
Toru Nanamine, the man himself. Their #1 fan from back in Detective Trap.
Whoa!
So he grows up and he's like, man, I want to make manga too. So he drops this banger, Classroom of Truth.
Yeah, and it
On
does.
his first try.
And it does really well. It makes it to the serialization meeting, but they decide like it's not good enough. Something about it's just missing. So
It's
they
just
decide.
missing that little.
Yeah, they
But
decide.
if you're
The
willing
Jimmy
to
Quay.
try again, and
Yeah.
like with one of our editors, you could like workshop it a bit, come up with something crazy good.
And Nanamine's like, you know what? That sounds pretty good. Thank you so much for the opportunity. That's so great. The next day comes up, right? And all of a sudden, people are talking about this manga.
Tori, turn on the TV. It doesn't matter what channel.
Tori, turn on the news. And they turn it on. Everyone's talking about Classroom of Truth, the manga that those idiots at Shonen Jump decided to cancel. What?
Wow.
So it turns out Nanamine leaked his own manga
Oh.
afterwards, and people are like, "Oh no,
Oh, this is so good. How can they pass this up? Shonen Jump, you need to pick up Classroom of Truth this instant.
And they're like,
crazy.
Nanamine, what did you do? And it's like, oh, I just
I don't know.
I just like posted my work since you weren't gonna do anything with it. I thought that was okay. They're like, it's not okay. You can't do that.
Why not though?
Because Shonen Jump owns the rights to it.
But they didn't publish it.
Still owns the rights to it.
That
They
is
illegally cannot.
That is
Yeah.
stupid. What?
And it's specifically there. Oh.
What the
Hush
fuck?
mode activated.
It's because of all the smoke, isn't it?
Nobody even smokes though.
No, probably vapors made its way there. At some
That's
point.
crazy.
That's not possible. We were outside. For the
No, I just.
No,
hit it.
someone. Yeah.
Oh, did you?
I can tell. I can smell it.
Yeah, I can smell it too.
That's funny.
So like, it's basically there so specifically.
Oh, you know what? I want. No, it's not the candle.
It's there so specifically this doesn't happen. So like when it gets passed up, they publish it and then people get mad at them for passing it up. It's kind of that. There's several reasons for it. That's just one of them. But it's like, yeah, you're not supposed to do that. That's a big faux pas. It's
Sometimes also, if an artist dies, you can make a lot of money releasing their old.
Oh yeah, they're old unreleased work. That too. There's a lot of reasons why they want to keep it, even if they're not publishing it right now. So yeah, everyone's like, Nanamine, you can't do that. You should not do that. Nanamine's like, yeah, you're right. I'm sorry, my bad, guys. And it's like, oh, but now that I'm in with all these mangaka, hi Mashiro, hi Takagi, I'm such a big fan of your work. Hi.
Onji, hi.
Is it okay if I come to your studio? I want to come to your studio, see you make PCP. Perfect crime party.
Such a big fan.
I'm such a big fan, and they're like, oh, yeah. They're basically like, yeah, sure, that would be cool, actually. Yeah. And then they meet up with Nanamine, they're talking, they're showing all around their studio. They're like, whoa, it's so cool, Ashiroki Muto. So hey, guys.
Let me.
What? You want to go? You can go.
Do your thing you're about to do. Do your thing you're about to do.
No.
What?
I did it on purpose.
Wait, where is it?
I gave him angry eyebrows.
Oh.
So it turns out, Light Yagami at the end of Death Note, when he died, he was reincarnated.
Huh? Yeah, he got reincarnated in the world of Bakuman as Toru Nanami. All this was a ploy to get Tamashii, to get into Shonen Jump, and then to get Classroom of Truth published. He released it on purpose so that people would call them stupid for not publishing it. And now, because of that, there's pressure in Shonen Jump to serialize Classroom of Truth into a full series.
I mean, that was kind of like, duh, right?
Yeah.
Why else would he have leaked it?
Because it was like his work, he wanted to show it off, Smiles.
No, I don't. No one would actually believe that.
No, they believed that. Everyone believed that.
That is a crazy twist. What the fuck?
Yeah, so well, that's pretty like bad of you now. I mean, shame on you. But like, what else? You did something else, didn't you?
Because it was a part of this new method that he used to create this manga.
So they publish it, right?
Huh?
They publish it, right?
Yeah, they're publishing it, but there's still more. There's still more to his scheme.
So basically, what he did, he found a way to sort of game the system, where instead of sitting down and writing all the manga stuff himself,
He asked 4chan.
He instead opens up a chat board, a message board, and he's like, hey guys, what should I do with this manga? And then like you have a bunch of 4chan users come in and give their opinions on how the story should
He's
go.
literally the Riddler from the Batman.
Opinions and suggestions, and then he uses that to write manga. So that's why when Nizuma read Classroom of Truth, he said it felt empty. He couldn't find the artist's voice.
Because the artist's voice wasn't even in there. Nanami didn't write it. A bunch of like 4chaners did. It's just the Reddit manga now.
It's the Reddit manga.
I'm so serious. This is literally the Riddler.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but without the manga part.
What the fuck, yo?
So Nanami reveals this to them, and he's like, I can let you guys in in the early, so we can get ahead of the game, and we can, all of us, we can get up and we can take over the manga.
And they're like, no, this is so bad. You should not do this.
This is an affront to manga itself.
This is an affront
Get
to
out
God.
of
He's like,
Go
okay,
now and never
that was your only chance. But hey, you know, Classroom of Truth is like a weird niche manga, and so is Perfect Crime Party. So I wonder which one of us is going to last in the end. There can't be two niche mangas running at the same time.
And
Or can
then
there?
Perfect Crime Party just easily blows it out of the fucking water.
There's not room in the manga game for the two of them, Jackson.
I believe you.
He's not doing it for the love.
I wonder if this is based off something they really saw once.
It might have been. I don't know. Classroom of Truth. Kai.
Kai.
Yeah, so he's working on Kai. He has his own editor. His editor is not that important. He's like this new guy.
What?
I mean, I didn't even make a sticky note for him.
Yeah,
he just
I fucking saw that. I was like, where is he?
Yeah, he. Do you want to explain? He just like is a new guy to Shonen Jump.
So Nanami gets paired up with like a new editor, like brand
Which is
new
probably
to the.
why he's able to get away with it. Cause
Because his editor is like kind of a pushover and stuff. But then he finds out how Nanami's making the manga, and like, oh my god.
And then Nanami finds out that he
escalates.
found out and is like, hey, don't tell anyone.
It escalates. It escalates to the point where like the editor tries to like physically beat up Nanami, and threatens to kill himself over it.
Wait, Nanami does?
No, the editor.
The editor's like, I will kill myself if you don't stop. I don't remember that part, but okay.
Good gravy.
Anyways. You want to continue?
No,
Or you want me to continue?
You continue, yeah.
Okay, so they're writing the editor squeals. He's like, Classroom of Truth is like
It's being written by committee.
it's being written by a bunch of
is.
Redditors. It's not being written by him. He's fake. He has ghostwriters. He's not real. And then all the editors are like, oh, thank you for telling us. That's stupid, but you should have told us sooner. And also, this is stupid. He should not be doing that. Chief, what do you think of that? And Sasaki's like, well, he's not breaking any rules. Shrugs.
Shrugs.
He lets it. He leaves it for the readers to decide.
Yeah, if it's good manga, then it gets pulled through. But
Spoiler alert: they decide. That shit is ass.
Wait, do they do like a reader's vote thing?
Yeah.
Well, like, I mean, there's the questionnaires every week.
Oh,
We get polls, so it just gradually.
So the
drops
first
down.
week, Classroom of Truth airs, it gets first, right? And then the second week, it gets third, which is normal because usually you do.
Wait, doesn't other character return?
Yes, another character returns. We're getting to that.
Oh, okay.
But they're like, okay, we fell in the third. That's normal. The next time they get ninth. They're like ninth. That's pretty bad.
so wait,
Like,
the actual readers of Bakuman's ratings.
No. This is how Shonen Jump works. Is that every
Okay, yeah, I got
comes with a
that.
questionnaire. The questionnaires are being written in the fiction.
So the in-universe readers
In-universe.
decided that the Reddit-generated show was ass.
yeah, they decided it's ninth. It got ninth place.
Okay, I got it now.
And then he's like, hey, ninth isn't all that bad. We can make a turnaround.
Oh,
from this."
also, quick aside, popularity contest Bakuman had like the in IRL people can like write in
So-
to like vote on their favorites.
So usually for successful manga, there's like a popularity contest where people vote on their favorite characters. Like Chainsaw Man had one, and like
Benny's card.
Benny's car got fifth place. People would vote like, oh, I like Power, oh, I like Denji, or whatever. For Bakuman, instead of characters, they wrote it on their favorite manga in the series. And so, like, PCP continued to get first, Crow got second, Road Racer Jiri got like third and fourth sometimes. Classroom of Truth didn't even do well in these, by the way. I don't think it even made a top 10 ever, but yeah. Oh yeah, where are we? In the thing? Oh yeah, they got ninth, right?
Yeah.
And so they get ninth, and it's like, oh, don't worry, I have a plan. I'll make a turnaround soon. And then his editor's like, you should really write it yourself. I think it would be better if you wrote it. It's like, no.
That's not how
My
it
method
works.
works. You're just not trusting in it. In fact, I just need help from a little friend. And he makes a phone call. And who does he call?
He summons Nakai. Dark Lord Nakai.
He basically sat in his mom's basement doing nothing but eating Doritos for like 3 weeks or something, or like, no, 3 years.
Yeah.
And he never shaved. He's like a gross, disheveled mess of a man, but he's still a good assistant. So he's hired as the assistant, and he has like 10 other assistants working on the
These
art
guys
to
are
try and
like
prove how good the art is.
He insists all of his assistants be young women.
Oh yeah, I forgot about. Wait, this is Nakai, right?
Nakai.
Nakai says, "I will only work with young girls."
This is literally the Shadow Team, like Hero versus Dark.
No, literally, actually, like the fucking like the League of Villains or something. Like, it's crazy.
So Nanami and Nakai are working together on this manga. He's like Nanami is paying him and like buying him pizza whenever he wants it, and like whenever like there's like a whole system about how his editors work and stuff like that. It's weird. It's stupid, but it's not getting any better. It's still 9th place. What's happening, Ed?
It's ass, you guys.
It's ass, dude. You gotta
simply
be
ass.
It's shrimply ass.
It is simply the worst.
It is simply the worst.
Oh wait, did you already talk about, there was a bit where Nakai, Nanami leaves his door in his bedroom unlocked. So Nakai is like being a nosy.
Before that, basically while they're trying to write this by committee, a bunch of people are having disagreements on where the story should go.
The Redditors
and
start fighting.
And so Nanami's trying to settle these arguments while people are arguing where the plot should go. So they're like, okay, that's it. Anyone who doesn't think it should go this way should leave right now. And that's been happening over and over again, and slowly they've been losing support, and there hasn't been anybody writing for it. So they've had less and less writers. Then Nakai walks in and sees that like Nanami left his computer on with the chat room there, and he figures out what's going on, and Nanami's like, wait, I can fix this. And he's like, hey guys, what if they all kissed and made up at the end? That would be so great.
Everyone's like, what the fuck are you talking about? I quit! Everyone leaves.
And everyone's like, this is ass. This is not
The
getting
last
any
of the
better.
writers leave.
It's like, oh no. Nanami walks in, makes the most disgusting face I've ever seen. He looks like a zombie just walked in.
He is like Yagami.
He is like Yagami. And this is his cracking moment where he just leaves. And it's like, Nakai, what are you doing? What did you just do? Everyone left. There are no more writers. It gets like 15th place in the polls this time, and it gets canceled.
Man, the fanboy really didn't turn out well.
So that's over. Nanamin's out of the job again, and he's no longer home, so he's homeless. You want to talk about what Nakai's doing now, since he doesn't have a home?
Nakai, he just decides to crash out, you know. He's like, I'm out of a job. No one likes me, and I'm out of a job. This is all that she-devil.
Well, no. First, he's like a street artist. He's like, I'll draw you for $1.
He does.
And then he starts drawing people for $1. Then these cute ladies come over. It's like, hey, could you draw me at my place?
He gets pranked by college teens.
Yeah, he gets pranked by college teens. He's like, wow, I'm gonna meet with these 3 beautiful women and draw them. And then he goes over there. He's like, look at this slob. Look at this hideous. Look at this old man. Everyone point and laugh at him.
So that was his true break.
That was his break. Yeah, and then he just runs over to Aokiko's house.
It's her fault.
It's her fault. It's all your fault, Aokiko. If you just had sex with me, none of this would have happened.
My God.
He's actually crashing out.
Crashing out. He's like, I'm gonna come up there and I'm going to beat you, Aokiko.
So then Aokiko meanwhile, she was on the phone with Hiromaru. He just happened to hear all this, and he's like, Aokiko, don't worry, I'm on my way.
Hiromaru shows up in like his ski outfit.
He shows up in like this Kill Bill outfit.
Yeah, it's like skin tight, you can see his ass.
Oh my God.
He starts fighting with Nakai, but Nakai's just big, so
he just gets like folded in half.
And then Aokiko's like, Nakai, stop! I will never go out with you. I hate you. And that was Nakai's like breaking point. He leaves and he's never seen again.
And then he's gone for good. He's been defeated.
The Dark Lord.
Dark Lord. Wait, can we take a picture of that?
Truly a shame.
I mean, we got video of it, right?
No, I haven't been
let's get
recording
video
for
of
the
it
past
before-
like 30
This shit
minutes.
is so funny.
Rest in peace.
Been recording for the last 30 minutes.
Did you want to get a phone picture of him?
No, yeah.
We'll keep him by for that. But in the meantime, Hiromaru saves Aokiko, I guess. Nakai is gone. They're hanging out, I guess. Is this where you want to talk about the Hiromaru arc?
Hiromaru.
The big Hiromaru arc?
Does it happen here?
I do not remember what happens in between that and now. So if you remember anything, but if not, we can just assume that there's nothing we're missing here.
Nothing we're missing.
That's fine.
Alright, so talk about it.
It's called Bakuman.
I actually know this.
Oh, okay.
The word Baku means a lot of things in Japanese. It means like inspiration, it means explosion. It's also the word for like a dream demon, and it's like them dreaming. So it's supposed to be a bunch of different things rolled into one. It's like onomatopoeia plus like the idea of having a dream, stuff like that.
Oh, it's not
And-
Baku Man?
No.
Oh.
I mean, it kind of is. It's a very strange title for the series since it doesn't get brought up at all in the text. But that's why it's called
At
that.
the end of
There's
the
a lot
manga,
of
they go, "You really
homophones."
were my Bakuman."
A mon can mean 10,000.
Really words my
That's one of the
Bakuman.
things mon can mean.
Is 10,000?
10,000 Dreams would be a pretty fitting title for a.
Oh yeah, because they're all the people who have their own dreams of becoming mangaka.
Should have called it manga.
All right.
I also like that they invented Columbo.
Oh yeah, the whole that yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
I mean, this was after Columbo, so they just
Detective-
kind of stole his.
Yeah,
his
Detective
okay.
Trap. It's like, wait a minute, I know, he'll be a detective. He just cons people into confessing.
Is
I'm
that
like,
what Columbo is?
It's not really like.
essentially, Columbo always does that.
Oh, okay.
It's more. It's not like Columbo's a con man. It's more like he just puts the pieces together and then like shows them in a strategic way that gets people to reveal more and more lies.
Right.
Yeah. With Detective Trap, it's like they're setting up another murder scene and putting the guy in it. It's like, oh no, you're gonna get framed for this murder unless you do something. And then slowly, their crime unravels with that, and then it's exposed it was all a ploy.
Man, Harrier Dubois.
So all this time we haven't really talked about Miho's career as a voice actress, because that's been a whole thing going on in the background. There's like 2 short notes we'll go over real quick. One is that like some odd years ago from now, so like 2010 I think, 2011 maybe, she got like a gig as an idol. So she got part like a pop band or something where she was singing, and she wore like a skimpy skirt or whatever, and people were like, wow, that's weird. Then like her manager was like bringing her up and was like, hey, you should do a thing.
You there, 10th grader, you need to do a swimsuit photo shoot now!
She's not a 10th grader anymore, though, right?
She's not anymore, she was back then.
Okay, so when this is happening, when you're talking, she became an idol and all that, she was
like 10th grade, 16, 17 years old. And so they're like, you should do a swimsuit model. And she's like, I don't know if I'm comfortable with that. And it's like, don't worry about that. Just know that it will be really good for your career. You want to be a voice actress, right? That was your dream, right? And Miho's like, sigh, I guess. And then there's like a whole thing where she texts Mashiro about the whole thing. Is like, I don't really want to do it because I don't feel comfortable with people seeing me that way. If people see me naked, I want it to be you first, Mashiro. Will you agree to see me naked, Mashiro?
Hello?
But wait, this is when they weren't supposed to be or is this
Yes,
after
this was
his?
before they were supposed to be seeing each other at all.
What happened to the original plot of the movie?
They don't do that, by the way. Mashiro just talks her into like maybe don't do the swimsuit thing if you don't feel comfortable with it. We'll find our way to our dreams eventually, no matter what.
Real.
That becomes the whole thing.
Fucking real.
Fucking
You
real.
don't have to show me your boobs.
Mashiro the goat, bro. It's real.
He's like, all right, now let me walk this back a minute and make sure I understand. You have to put on this swimsuit so that you can be a voice actress. She's like, yeah, that's what he told me.
Yeah.
I don't think he has your priorities in mind.
Yeah, he's just said, don't worry about that part. It'll be fine.
Call this man a spear because he's got reach.
So now that that's out of the way, Ed has something to say about Hiromaru.
Okay, so we're back in the present-ish. Hiromaru and Aokiko are hitting it off now. They got like cute nicknames for each other. They meet every once in a while for tea dates. It's going pretty well. Yoshida hates this because he's losing his main weapon to use against Hiromaru. And then not only that, he fears for Hiromaru because if Hiromaru does anything that decides to like take the relationship to the next level, if he gets turned down, he will kill himself. that's also bad.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I've been emotionally manipulating this guy. This is gonna be bad.
I'm the only one allowed to
Will
affect
kill
this
himself.
guy's mental state. This is toxic yaoi.
Toxic.
So, holy shit, this is hilarious. So Aokiko and Hiromaru finally. So Hiromaru plans like a romantic night out at the local theme park in secret from Yoshida. So Yoshida eventually finds out at the last minute, and he's like racing on his. He has a motorcycle.
Yeah, he races on his
He's
motorcycle
racing on his motorcycle. He's like
to get to Hiromaru's place.
to get to Hiromaru's place before they head out on their date. But Hiromaru is one step ahead. He gets like in like his fancy sports car that Yoshida made him buy,
and
then he speeds it. He's speeding down the highway.
Like Yoshida arrives and he sees the sports car missing from his garage and he knows what's up. I put a GPS tracker in that car. We're going for him.
So there's this high-speed chase going on down the highway towards like this local theme park or whatever. And like, God, wait, what the?
Yoshida catches up.
Yeah, Yoshida catches up. Wait,
Yoshida catches up, and inside it's like Fukuda and his gang. And they're like, wait, where's Hiromaru? It's like, oh, Hiromaru's so cool, he just gave us his sports car for free. Not sure why, though. I guess he has a second car or something. It's like, shit.
He doesn't have a second car unless Hiromaru went out and bought another sports car in advance for this. He planned this. He planned to give his old car to Fukuda with all the tracking stuff, so then he could buy a new car without the tracking stuff and try Aokiko on his date.
Oh my god.
Yoshida's like, this is bad, and he starts sending the calls he always does, where it's like, hey, if this guy, have you seen Hiromaru? I need to know where Hiromaru is now. And I think he calls Mashiro, and he's like, yeah, I saw Hiromaru pass by just a few hours ago. He's like, shoot, okay, I'll show up. I need your help. Come on. So Mashiro teams up with Yoshida to like find where Hiromaru's gone. They find the theme park that he went to with Aokiko.
And okay, so unbeknownst to Aokiko and everyone else, Hiromaru actually plans to propose.
Yeah, he got a ring and everything. He's ready to propose like a wedding, like start a wedding, get married to Aokiko, everything. And his plan is like they're gonna go on the Ferris wheel and they're gonna go all the way to the top. He's gonna pop the question, get married, and by the bottom they're gonna be engaged.
That's
The wrong order, I know.
Okay.
Sometimes I jump the shark in the word.
I wanted to make sure you understood how the process worked for your own usage, perhaps in life someday.
So they find.
They're enjoying the theme park. They're getting on all the rides.
Yeah, they go on the roller coaster, and Hiromaru's scared.
Hiromaru's scared and screaming, but he's having fun because Aokiko's there, right?
Yeah.
So then the big moment comes. It's like, all right, it's time to get on the Ferris wheel. He gets on the Ferris wheel. They go all the way up, and then they come all the way back down.
And they walk off like nothing happened. And then, like, was it Yoshida or was it Mashiro that walks on and is like, hey, Hiromaru, what happened?
Yeah, I think it was Mashiro.
Mashiro's, Hiromaru, what happened? He's like, I lost the fucking ring. I lost the ring. I lost the ring. And they're like, whoa, wait, we gotta find that ring real quick. And they go through the whole theme park again. And it's like, hey, Aokiko, you want to go on the roller coaster again? Wouldn't that be fun? It's like, I don't know, we already did. No, come on, Aokiko, let's go on the roller coaster. And he's checking like the bottom of the roller coaster to see if it like fell on the floor or something. He's like, he has Mashiro and Takagi scouting around to see if it fell out and like onto like the grass below or something like that. They're going through the whole thing.
Where is it?
They don't find it. They never find it.
Bro.
They go back on the Ferris wheel one last time to see if it fell off there, and then like they can't find it. So Hiromaru just says, I was gonna propose to you, but then I lost the ring. I'm sorry. And Aokiko's like, that's fine. I will marry you.
Oh. Also, is this their first?
This is their second date.
Okay.
Yeah, their second date. And so he popped the question. They're engaged now. They're planning the wedding and everything. All is well. Everything is great.
Yoshida watches.
Tell me about what happens with Yoshida.
Yoshida has like binoculars and he's looking up at the Ferris wheel.
And if you look in the corner, you can see that he's got the ring on his pinky.
I don't think that's a step, but that makes so much sense for him to do.
That'd be fucking hilarious. But Yoshida sees the proposal and he cries happy tears. He's like Hiromaru doesn't need me anymore. He's grown up.
Doesn't need me. It's wild.
Some woman to abuse him in my stead. Like what kind of thinking is that?
But
yeah, Hiromaru arc. That's
so great.
Best character.
I think like literally the next thing we see is their wedding, where they're saying their vows and everything. Mashiro and Takagi are there, and Mashiro's thinking the whole time, man, I'm so sad. You're married, Hiromaru's married, and I'm still no closer to marrying Miho. This sucks. We need to come up with a good idea for a manga now.
You there?
Oh.
Hey, maybe, I don't know.
Shit.
I didn't get that.
That was a slow pitch.
Okay, so they hit the drawing board and then they think about like, do they follow up on the serious humor thing again, or did they?
What are you thinking about?
Like how they get to their final manga?
No, we're way behind on that. They're still planning it. They're playing in the background, but they're scheming. We need to make one big manga.
Okay.
There's 3 big arcs because there's Nanamine comes back, right, Ed?
True.
No way.
So how do we want to start this, Ed?
Okay, so it's your normal day at Shueisha headquarters. There's a phone call. Some guy has like a new manga or whatever he wants to show to an editor.
And
so it's
like,
yeah,
okay, Hattori, go see what's up.
No, Mira.
No, Hattori first.
It was Mira.
No, it was Hattori first. I'll fight you on this. I know.
It was Mira, I'm pretty sure.
Wait, was it? No, okay, maybe you're right. Okay, I forgot my order of operations.
For Gore.
Mira gets called, right.
So Mira gets called down to meet this person. He comes down and he sees it's like this old guy. He's like in his like 50s.
His 50s, his 60s. He's a fucking geezer.
Geezer out here. And he's like, and then Mira's like, ew, what the hell?
and the guy,
They're like, wait a second, I saw the way you looked at me. I didn't like that. I think I'll take my business elsewhere.
yeah, and then,
Whoa.
and then Mira's like, oh, my bad. Okay, bye.
Yeah, so old guy.
My mistake, original game.
So then the next day, phone call, some guy wants to show his new manga off. So they send Hattori down.
Well, no, they say, hey, don't send Mira this time. Don't send the same editor this time. I want a different editor.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, I guess that means you, Hattori.
So they send Hattori down, and Hattori's like, hey, what's this old guy doing here? So he sits down, he looks at this old guy's manga, and he's like, damn, this guy's really good.
No, you didn't see the manga. You didn't mention what the manga was.
So the manga was called Panty Shot Fight.
So hear me out. Here's the premise. Here's the premise. Okay. First of all, he's not that old, so it's not the same guy. But here's the premise. Okay. There a bunch of women who need money get hired into the Squid Games, right? But instead of dying, you get panty shotted. People see your panties, and then if you lose and people see your panties, you have to take your panties off and throw it into the crowd.
What the fuck?
And it's like a fight manga, but with panty shots.
What the fuck? Now we're really getting into some Japanese ass shit.
You guys remember that one anime that came out like forever ago with like the butt bumping or whatever?
What?
No, I don't.
I know which one you're talking about.
You know which one I'm talking.
I don't. Which one?
I do not.
It was like these girls in like swimsuits, and they were like fighting on this like platform, and the idea was to like the idea was to like throw their ass at each other and knock each other into the water. But there was like oh my god, her technique is crazy. She's like breaking the sound barrier and shit, like her aerodynamics and shit. It was crazy.
It's basically. By the way, Hattori thinks this is goated. By the way,
Hattori thinks this is the best thing he's read.
It's known as Hip Whip Girl.
Hip Whip Girl. That's it.
It's
Yeah.
like this is the one moment my goat falters. He reads this and he's like, peak.
My goat faltered.
My goat faltered.
No, for
I guess we
real,
can't
though.
all be perfect.
What happened to Tori?
I don't know.
We
You
can't all be
chose
perfect.
it,
It's
Lauren.
crazy.
So he's like, wow, this is actually pretty good. I think I'll show this to all the other editors and see if we can get it serialized. And the guy over there is like, are you sure about that? Because I know I'm old and people think it's bad when old people have manga. It's like, it doesn't matter if the manga is good. And he holds up Anti-Flashlight, is good. Quote, Hattori.
Hattori, I think you're a freak, man.
A little bit of a freak. So yeah, he passes it around and says, yeah, this old guy made it. It's so weird that this old guy made it. And they're all like, oh, I think I know that guy. That's some Azuki guy.
You didn't make a note for this guy?
No, because he never shows up again. It doesn't matter. I don't remember his name, but he's like this old famous mangaka from like the 70s, 80s, who had like a successful thing, and then afterwards he couldn't get serialized again. Apparently, like after his last work got canceled, he had to like do like end to end like temp work at different places to make ends meet. He kept submitting things, but nothing like succeeded. This is the first like bite he's gotten in like 10, 20 years. It's like, wow. He's finally making it somewhere. Hey, Eiji Nizuma, what do you think about this manga?
It's empty.
There's something about I can't get the reader from this.
It's Reddited, Chat GPT.
So they're like, okay, something's definitely up. Maybe Nanamin is on his bullshit again. Whatever.
It's a reoccurring villain.
Yeah, which editor goes to like where it's getting written, to like the studio where it's being made?
I'm pretty sure it's not a means editor.
The same editor as last time?
I'm pretty sure.
I should have made the same note about it, I guess.
Yeah, look at this guy.
Whatever. His editor comes back and is like, whoa, okay, I'm here to talk about Panty Flash Fight. And then Nanamin is like in a giant like, it's like a whole like library with a bunch of people running around.
No, he has he has an entire building rented.
Yeah, he has a whole building rented out. There's one floor that's a lab. That's one floor is like a library. One floor is like an office building. He has people with papers running back and forth, like talking about different manga ideas or whatever. It's like, welcome to my empire.
Which is crazy because that's one thing that I keep wondering about. You know, the mangaka compensation seems to drastically vary.
It does.
One guy can apparently hire an entire like room or building of people with one floor here and one floor.
So about that, the reason Nanamin can afford all this is because his dad is rich.
Ah.
He's Elon Musk, essentially.
He's Elon, yeah, and he's
So
like...
he's doing this for the love of the panties. He's not doing this for...
Well, no, he talked to his dad about it, and his dad is like, you'll never be successful as a mangaka, you'll make more money here with me, and he's like, took out a small loan to prove him wrong.
Small loan of $1 million.
Yeah, took out a small loan of $1 gajillion, rented out a building to prove him wrong, and this is his attempt. What he's been doing. So, you want to go through the whole process, the mechanism they figured out?
I'm also curious back on the compensation for mangaka.
Right.
This other guy also was able to give away his sports car and
buy a
second sports car, which again seems like he might have better representation than Murashu. Like,
Well, okay, he's Oda and they're nobody, so that's the difference between them. One guy is popular and successful and rich and has been for a long time. They're
Okay.
geniuses and they're gamblers. Think about it that way.
Gotcha. All right.
I have no idea how much money AG has. I think most of it is going to his parents or something. I don't know. But do you want to walk through like Nanamin's process?
Okay, so first,
The multi-step process
first
to
step,
making manga?
he approaches teenagers on the street, and he's like, "Hey, do you want to come read manga rough drafts? I'll pay you for it."
No, he says, hey, do you want to read manga for money?
Yeah.
He pays them, takes them to his library. He has like little dishes of caviar or whatever. He's handing out like little treats to them.
There's like
They
a
have
buffet. and
yeah,
shit.
buffet, and they just sit there and read manga and then write about their thoughts on the manga and then submit them. It's like, this was good, too much blah blah, whatever. Sometimes they'll write out, like, they can write out a storyboard for a manga idea they have and submit it, and if the company likes it, they'll buy it from them.
It's like here's a little dish of caviar,
Which enters-
and methamphetamine.
Yeah.
Just keep reading. Don't worry about it.
So that enters step 2 of the plan, Ed.
Step 2 of the plan is they hand it off to their writer's room, right?
Yeah, they hand it off to their writer's room, they buff it up a bit, they see if they like it or not, and then they send it off to old people who want manga.
Oh yeah, they send it up to washed up like
Specifically, like
yeah.
old mangaka who haven't had a hit in years, who are just desperate to get back into publishing again, to get back into the sphere.
So they hand off the storyboards. It's like, hey, you could draw for this and probably get your career back.
Yeah. And so they're like, oh, I guess, and that's why that guy's writing Panty Flash Fight.
Crazy.
They have a bunch of other like artists that are getting like submitting to different companies. There's a bunch of them coming to Shonen Jump right now.
I bet
The
that
whole,
Rudy
like-
Kenshin freak, he's there.
Yeah. Bunch of people, right? And so they're like, hey, this isn't right. You should be writing it yourself. Know what I mean?
You know, he's like, yeah, but like this is easy. This is the future of manga creation.
It's literally as simple as this.
And the plan is they're submitting multiple of these manga to Shonen Jump. Eventually they're gonna take over the game. It's gonna be all their manga. That's the plan.
Man.
Woman.
And this is where it's like, okay, Mashiro and Takagi hear about this, and they're like, we need to beat Nanamin again. We need to make a manga that will outcompete that guy's manga. We can do it. And they're talking with like that old guy who made Panty Flash Fight, and they're like, you know you don't want to do this, and you know it's wrong. And he's like, I know, but it makes money, and I want to get back into the game, and I'm poor.
And I saw what happened to my friend Kawaguchi. He couldn't get another hit. And I didn't want to end up just like him.
Who is Kawaguchi again?
The guy, the
Mashiro's uncle.
Oh,
manga killed my uncle.
I kept waiting for him to show up again.
So they're like, ah, shoot, that's gonna suck. Well, we're gonna try and beat him anyways. And they're trying to figure out like they have to beat like all these like old mangaka combined. They're trying to come up with what the next story is gonna be. And this is when it comes in, Ed.
They revisit serious humor, right?
They revisit. No, they go back to Kawaguchi's old work, Superhero Legends.
And they realized how cool it was, how he has like callbacks to like seemingly one-off gags and bits from like 40, 50 chapters ago. And then that's when Mashiro remembers something his uncle told him, that you could just, at any time you feel like, you could just go back through your old work and say, hey, that's pretty cool, I'll follow up on that. And when you do, people will praise you as a genius for the foreshadowing. Oda level.
This is how the Oda technique works. You just go back through your old work and they're like, hey, what if there's more of that? This was actually foreshadowing this event, and people are like, and then what they say in the manga is it gets people excited about the present, enjoys the past, reminds them of the past, and lets them think about the future. Combining them all into one moment. So that's
One Piece. This is One Piece.
This is how One Piece works. And so basically they're writing their next chapter to be like that.
This is also how Doctor Who works.
Yeah. So anyways, results come in. All of Nanamine's little projects end up failing. Because they're ass. But actually, the deal was that in order to stay in serialization, they had to make it top 3 this week. And so first place was Crow, second place was PCP, and then third place was Ozzy, the old guy's own work. He made like a manga about beaches or something.
Oh, he made it.
And it ended up getting third place. Yeah, he made his own original work and ended up getting third place. And boom, Nanamine is out of the game. Not only that, the deal was that he could never work with Shonen Jump again. So he was like, dang, I guess I'm not working at Shonen Jump again. And then like he shows up at the New Year's party like sometime later and is like, yeah, I guess this is my last day with you guys. Peace. And he never shows up again.
Into the trash he goes.
Out of here. Oh, in other news, Rabuda and Peace also gets canceled during this time.
No.
We had a casualty during the Boomer Apocalypse.
No.
Rain-X!
So he gets canceled and he has to go back home and live in France and paint vistas or whatever.
But
My
he had
bird!
fun, and he's
He had
rich,
fun.
So
My bird! They got my fucking bird.
That's
My
unfortunate.
Shiratori.
the biggest bird. Right.
Alright, what else? Oh, there's like a bank robbery, I guess?
Oh, a bank robbery.
Or not a real robbery.
Yeah. So someone breaks into like a bank vault, and then they just leave a note or something. Right?
Yeah, and then people are freaking out because there was a chapter of Perfect Crime Party where they mentioned doing this. Like, hey, what if we broke into a bank and left a note there?
That said, we were here.
Yeah. And they're like, wait, people are just mimicking the stuff we said. Oh no, this was exactly why we didn't get an anime. This is so scary.
What's happening?
Oh no.
Then it's like it gets news throughout like Shueisha. Everyone's talking about it, and like the chief is like, "Don't you worry, we're here defending our mangaka. We know that like the manga does not promote this activity." Basically, at this point, everyone is like, "Yeah, it's not like it's Takagi's fault that this bank robbery happened. And it's not like anyone got hurt anyways, because they literally just broke in and left a note. It didn't like do anything bad."
Yeah, but it's still fucking with Takagi specifically.
Yeah, Takagi's psyche is out of there. He's writing news stories about like how, what if they did a crime where they handed out candy to people?
like it took all his edge away. It took his
Yeah, he doesn't have that spice anymore. I forgot. Do you remember how he gets it back, or does he just have to like work through it?
Like I think, oh god, okay. I think what happened was he wrote a story about the kid who was trying to bust the PCP,
Right.
or something. He realizes there's like a copycat going around. He's like, wait a second, these aren't PCP crimes.
Oh, that's right. He uses that as inspiration, and it's like, oh, this is not. He like the guy figures out it's not their crimes, it's
Well,
someone
he will
else, and
never
then
be
busts
PCP.
them because they're not PCP. He's so
Yeah.
bad.
That's kind of sick, actually.
Yeah. There's one more arc I'm forgetting about, isn't there?
There's one more.
Oh, are we thinking about like when Eiji Nizuma makes true on his deal? Is
Yeah,
that
there
the?
we go. Yeah.
Yeah. So it turns out while all this is happening, people notice Crow got #1 during that whole like shebang with.
Oh yeah, there
and
was
stuff.
like before this there was Nazuma made a deal with the editor-in-chief where if Crow manages to... No.
Remember how Nazuma's deal was if Crow became the #1 manga. When Crow became the #1 manga, he got to cancel one manga he hated.
Any manga.
Oh yeah, that's right.
He's been top of the charts for 20 weeks now. It looks like he's coming up to being the #1 manga finally. And so people are talking about, well, what's Crow going to cancel, right? Because he doesn't, like, first of all, he's not going to cancel Perfect Crime Party. He loves Perfect Crime Party. But, like, what is he going to cancel? What is his least favorite? And people are thinking he's going to cancel Plus Natural because he hates Plus Natural right now. He's tired of making it. So
That would make a lot, yeah.
Yeah, that would make a lot of sense. So what is he going to cancel? Everyone's, like, trying to debate what he's going to do.
So they finally meet up with him and they press him about it. He's like, yeah, I'm thinking about ending Crow.
Damn.
What? But Crow's the #1 in the world. You can't end it.
Yeah, but he doesn't like working on it anymore. So
Then end it on a high note because they're finishing the big arc right now. That's why it's been top of the charts right now.
Exactly.
And so there's like, okay, I made a deal with the publishers that if I keep up another 20 weeks of being top 1, I can cancel Crow. And they're like,
They say good luck with that. So now everyone's scrambling to outdo Crow to keep Crow going.
Because remember, they still want to beat Eiji Nizuma and become the #1 mangaka in the world. So they're coming up with, okay, what do we do now to beat Crow? People are talking about how like the Mikitaka of Truth, the courtroom drama, is going to be the one that beats Crow eventually. They're talking about that because he's writing a story about
how like a live action.
Yeah, there's a live action drama that's being adapted or whatever, blah, 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 blah. Road Racer Jiri is doing their big arc. Everyone's like, you know what, we need to do our big arc now, and that's what's going on. What Ashirogi ends up writing is that they write a story where, like, okay, they get an agreement with the company that they get, like, a color page in the middle, and they decide, what if we use color as part of the puzzle for this chapter? And so they start coming up with an idea of how, like, they can use color to, like, make, like, a puzzle. Do you remember how the puzzle even worked?
I did not.
I think it was like, oh, the sky is yellow, but if you hold, like, a green piece of film up against the page, it changes the color and you reveal a secret message or something like that.
Does it work on the actual book you're reading?
Yes, it does.
That's cute.
Or like not like in the real world, in universe world. They don't actually get colored pages, which I was waiting for, by the way. I was waiting for to see the colored pages. We don't even get to see it in color how it's supposed to work.
I mean, yeah, there were color pages on the Jump app where I was reading.
Oh, well, I didn't read them.
You're reading.
I didn't get them.
The fan translations where it's like shitty black and white.
Learn Japanese.
Get good.
Crunchy ass skin.
They're writing a bunch of like different like puzzles into it. They're introducing a new villain. Like the person who was doing the crimes all along was this guy called Sigma.
Ha! So Sigma.
Wait, what comic is introducing Sigma?
Perfect Crime Party. Remember the guy that was doing the real crimes and got caught?
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, they're introducing him as a new villain. The Mikitaka of Truth is doing this thing where like the lawyer's best friend is getting framed for a crime and the lawyer has to help him, but it's a conflict of interest or whatever. That's what they're writing.
Or something.
Yeah, or something. Road Racer
Geary, they meet up with this old racer guy who teaches them how to race better.
It's pretty sick. But none of it's working. Crow's still winning. It's still first place every time, each time. Even the Mikitaka of Truth is getting second, only to Crow to get first. What are we going to do? PCP's arc comes in and concludes, and it gets third place. No one's beating Crow. 20 weeks come by, and Crow doesn't get beaten.
Damn.
Eiji Nizuma is now the best mangaka in the world.
And he cancels Crow. He ends it off on a high note. There's a little like emotional moment where... Was there a question?
No,
okay. There's like a little emotional moment, bloody, bloody, blah. And then like Eiji Nizuma meets up with all the other friends he's made along the way. And it's like, I'm not giving up on manga, I'm just giving up on Crow. And then Ashirogi, Mashiro, and Takagi, whatever, they go up to him and is like, we're going to beat you on your next thing. It's not over yet. We still have a rivalry, whatever. And Eiji Nizuma's like, heck, bet.
As one does.
So Yujiro shows up to talk with Eiji Nizuma about his next manga, and he shows up and his floor is littered with like new like what were they called again? Manuscripts. New manuscripts for a whole different manga about like elements become superheroes and they fight each other. So like Silver is a superhero that fights people with silver
What the
powers.
fuck?
And Tungsten starts fighting people, and Bismuth starts fighting people.
That's dope.
And they're like, what is
Universe.
It's Steven Universe. And then like his editor Yujiro walks in and is like, what is this? He's like, oh yeah, that's just something fun I made in my free time while I was making Crow. It's like, what? It's like, yeah, I don't plan on publishing it or anything. How do you have free time? Look at what happened to Otter's 11 Man. How did you, what? You're making 2 manga, what? He's like, yeah.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Yeah, don't worry about it. So anyways, let's talk about what our next manga is going to be. It's not going to be this, by the way. It's like, you know what I need? I think what the problem with Crow was that it was mainstream, but it didn't have that edge to it, you know? So what if we go mainstream with a little bit of cult inside of it, right? Picking up what I'm putting down?
Cult appeal.
Cult appeal inside something mainstream.
I see.
And they're coming up with this idea, and they're like, ha. Meanwhile, Ashirogi Muto is talking, what is our next manga going to be? We've done PCP for a while, but I think we need to come up with something to beat Eiji Mizuma's new project.
Just been doing it for a while, you know.
Yeah, I know.
That's what it does for creative juices.
So they're like, what if we make something cult like we always do, but we put a little bit of mainstream inside of it?
Like Dan.
Like Dan.
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 Dan?
Brothers.
Dan.
So they're like, what if this is a good idea? And so the idea becomes it's a cult inside of mainstream versus mainstream inside of cult. Yin versus yang. Who's going to win out at the end? Only time can tell. They're working on their projects parallel to each other. Take it from here, Ed.
Okay, so Ashirogi, the Ashirogi gang, they decide, hey, what if we made Death Note?
Joe, I'm picking up what you're putting down. It's not literally Death Note, by the way, just so we're clear.
What was it called again?
Reversey.
It's called Reversey.
So,
Like the game?
yeah. So the story is that there's a demon who can brainwash people, and what he wants is for the world to end. So he gets the idea that he comes up to somebody who thinks if everyone thinks the same way that I do, that the world will be a better place, and decides, you know what, dude, you're so right. If everyone thinks the way you do, the world will be a better place. I'll give you my powers to do it.
Death Note.
And that's Reversey.
And then
that's the plan.
There's another demon.
Yeah, well, getting to that, they introduce another. It needs an antagonist, so they make it like a Death Note thing where there's another guy that's like, I see what's going on. People need to think for themselves in order for the world to be a better place. You're wrong. And so another demon who thinks, yes, if people think for themselves, the world will fall apart and destroy everything. Yes, you're so right. I'll give you my powers so you can do that. And so that's the idea. That's the story. Is that two guys with demons start brainwashing people.
I'm trying to imagine a demon coming and being like, I'm offering you powers to help people think for themselves. I'm like, wait, aren't they already doing that? Like,
Well, no, he knows they're being brainwashed at this point. That's where it's coming from.
I'm like, what is this? Everybody's gonna like turn off the TV and like toss their phone at the same time? I don't understand what you're giving me here.
No, it's more like everyone is like, dude, we should vote Jill Stein right now. Bunch of people are standing up and are like, dude, what if we all vote Joey Exotic for 2016? It will be perfect.
And then what else? On the other end, what was it? Nizuma was making
Zombie Gun.
Yeah.
Do you remember what Zombie Gun was, Ed?
There was like a zombie and he had a gun.
It looks peak. It looks like Soul Eater, honestly.
Yeah.
I think there's a plot of like there's zombies and there's humans, and this guy is half human, half zombie, and he wants them to live together. But his brother's like, no, zombies should rule the earth. Waha! And that's the story. So they're going head to head, right?
Yeah.
And it's like they get their workout. Obviously they're serialized because both of these are peak.
Yeah.
And
But
there's
first-
also a down.
So yeah, let me just fix this real quick. Also, Plus Natural is done. I'm pretty sure.
Plus Natural's been
Plus
Yeah.
Natural's done.
Yeah, that series Plus Natural. So
It just
Zombie
fell
Gun.
off.
first things first, they got to figure out how they're going to make PCP and Reversi at the same time. So do you want to go over that, Ed?
Yeah, I think they just do the IRL thing where they just move PCP over to like a different magazine, right?
Yeah, they basically have PCP being published in like
it's a monthly manga.
Yeah, in a monthly manga instead to ease the workload off of them.
They basically did what Araki did with JoJo.
Yeah.
Wait, what's the other show that guy, or manga that guy wrote?
But they get new editors. Ogawa comes back to help them with Reversi and PCP at the same time, since they're both working on it. And like because they have such a huge workload, it's becoming a little too much. And like Ogawa's looking at the schedule, is like, dude, this isn't gonna work.
Ogawa looks like the fucked up guy from Perfect Blue. I'm not wrong, am I?
No, you're not
I
wrong.
can see it.
So yeah, they're like, oh no, we have to burn ourselves out to make this. And it,
No, that's an animated movie.
Black Mirror probably references it like a bunch.
It's very that's very similar.
so they're trying to make Reversi PCP at the same time. It's too much for them. Mashiro's like burning the candle at both ends. Like Takagi and Miyomi are like handing out like energy drinks to everyone so they can stay awake, and they're working like 16-hour shifts to get this thing out. It gets ridiculous to a point, and then eventually they make it out of like that little hellhole, and they settle their schedule after that. But now that they have the experience of what it's like to really work like sweatshop mangaka style, they know how to avoid it, and they've grown as people.
Now that we've done this, I know how not to do this, and so I'm gonna grow.
I mean, yeah.
Like the Lord of the Rings manga.
I mean,
It never occurred to me not to give people energy drinks and just be like, draw.
no,
bastard,"
it wasn't
and-
that. It was more that they had to do that because their schedule sucked. They needed a better schedule, so now they know how to better schedule things.
Yeah, like we don't ever want to be in energy drink hell again.
If that ever happens again, they will pull out the energy drinks again. Don't you worry. 20-hour shifts might be a requirement, but it's not for now. They're working on Reversi, working on Zombie Gun at the same time. First issues come out. Zombie Gun gets first. Reversi gets second. And this pattern continues for a while with Zombie Gun in first, Reversi in second. However, volumes come out. Reversi sells more of the volumes. That's interesting. So there's a little bit of a toss-up about which one is better right now. And this is consistent. Reversi keeps selling volumes all throughout the series. Zombie Gun is first, Reversi is second. Both get confirmed for animes.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Dreams are coming true. But there's a
Miho is getting a voice part.
voice
and
there's
the rub.
There's the rub. We can't guarantee she'll get a role in it. She has to audition for it first. But before we get there, we're still writing Reversi, and Takagi thinks he has the whole thing planned out, and maybe it should only be a 50-chapter thing,
Yeah.
End it while it's good. And so basically, his final gift to Mashiro before the anime gets released and they get married is to end the series off on a high note so that he can get married as the best mangaka in the world. He talks to Hattori about it. Hattori eventually relents and lets them do it. Or, he talks to the chief. The chief eventually lets them do it.
Like
The
that
myth
one
of
kid.
consent. The myth
Yeah.
of consent. I consent. Hattori doesn't.
Oh, yeah, by the way, the chief retired. I forgot about
He
this.
just gets swapped out with him.
Yeah, so he's out of here.
He's like, I'm so done with all of you.
He's working at the company that Perfect Crime Party is being published in now.
Yeah.
Something else happened that I forgot about. I mean, Owase, I think, is on suicide watch.
Oh god.
She failed to beat Takagi, and now she's sad, and people were worried she was going to do something. They came over to her house, she's not, and people were like, hey, if you make a good manga, that will motivate me to make a better manga. So do something good, idiot. And that's what's going on. There's another arc where originally Hattori wasn't going to be the editor for Reversi, but he was so sad about it, he got drunk at the bar and cried about it. And then Yujiro showed up and is like, oh man, my friend's really going through it, and then talked through the new chief about getting him an editor role at Reversi. And Shizuka never shows up again. Why are you here?
Rip.
Oh yeah, Honors 11 gets cans.
Yeah.
So Honors 11 is no longer a thing, but that's okay because Hiromaru gets a job as an editor for Aokiko's new manga. An assistant, my bad. Yoshida is also somewhere. Who knows? Aokiko's new manga is about like an angel or like Cupid falls in love with a human, but they can't do that because their job is to make humans fall in love with each other, and it becomes a conflict. That's the whole series she's making.
That sounds like something that would be pitched to Liberals.
Okay. Yeah. What's going? Oh yeah, the anime, right, Ed? Do you want to take it from here?
Okay, so what's it? They're having talks about voice actors and shit. So the topic of who's going to voice the main female lead in Reverse C.
Yeah.
So Mashiro like teleports up to the studio, like, hey, I have someone in mind.
Believe it or not, I wrote this part for one particular person.
They're like, you need to get Azuki Miho into this right now.
And they're like, who the hell is Azuki Miho? Don't worry about it.
No, she's like a famous voice actress.
Like she's coming.
She got a role in the drama CD for PCP.
Yeah. So what happened? So
Rumors start spreading that
Rumors start
Azuki
spreading.
Miho is going to be the voice actress for this character in Reverse C. And then, the way it spreads is that
Okay.
one of her friends tells the world something like that.
Yeah, one of her friends tells the world, and then
Hitler Epstein comes in.
and then Hitler Epstein from middle school, he's back and he's living up to his name as an adult man now. He's on like 4chan or whatever, and he's like, wait a second, Ashirogi Muto, and then he does like the whole mental math.
And he's like, oh, it's
wait a second,
Mashiro.
Mashiro, and that girl he likes, Miho. Wait a second. So
They're
then,
hiring his girlfriend to voice act the role?
so then he jumps on to X, and then he's like, okay, guys, the new anime. That stupid voice actress, she's dating the mangaka. This isn't fair.
And then people are like, wait, she's dating someone?
Yeah, 'cause that's a problem in Japan.
Yeah, if you're like an idol or something, you're not supposed to have like a love life or anything.
Because it ruins the fantasy.
Yeah, people like to imagine like. Did you remember that image of like someone playing Persona and they're like
This
going
is
through
what
the dating
Perfect Blue
segment,
is about.
and it's like, "Thank you, I had such a wonderful night," and it cuts to them in like an Atlas t-shirt, and they're
I
like
haven't seen
sweating
Perfect
through
Blue, but I've
their
seen
nipples.
Paprika.
I have not seen Paprika.
Also wonderful.
So that's what's going on, and over there, they're like, "Oh no, Azuki Miho is dating someone, can't have that." Rumors start spreading of that.
So it all culminates. There's like this big radio show drama special. There's like they bring on Miho to talk about the scandal around her, and like what her agency wants her to do is to get on the radio show and deny.
Yeah.
So she gets on. He's like, oh yeah, my boyfriend Mashiro made this new anime, and I'm gonna be the voice actress.
Yeah, like she says, "I love Mashiro. I want to be the voice actor," and stuff, all that stuff. The agency's like, "Oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck." People are getting more angry at her because of
have
this.
a promise ring.
Anyways, Fukuda shows up on like a fan podcast for Road Racer Jiri to tell everyone to hop off Miho.
Yeah.
He hops on and like the podcasters are like, so tell us what's gonna happen next chapter? What do we have to look forward to in Road Racer Jiri? It's like, yeah, first of all, hop off cold. Leave Miho alone.
Yeah.
So that's happening. And then they're like, okay, Miho can get the role if she auditions for it and wins the audition. And to make sure things are fair, it's going to be audience vote. We're going to have a whole crowd vote over Miho getting the role in this.
Okay. So the day of the big audition comes up, and like this is from Miho's perspective. So it's Miho. She's on her own. She goes into like this inner room. What's the audition thing?
Yeah, like the dressing room for auditions and stuff. She's meeting all the other women who are auditioning for the role. There's like this older voice actress who's like
time
veteran.
voice actress. Yeah. Tara Strong.
Yeah.
She runs into like the Japanese voice actress Tara Strong. and she's mean just like Tara Strong. So
So that basically everyone's handed a script to show like to show what the line is. Memorize the whole script, and we'll give you a specific line when the time comes.
Yeah.
Right. So
everyone's like shitting on Miho because now everyone knows.
Yeah, everyone knows she's dating someone, and she's like a nepo baby here.
Yeah. So they start going through all the voice actresses. They read their lines and whatever. So it's Miho's turn.
Yeah.
So Miho, she comes up, and then she's reading it. She does it. Everyone's like, "Wow, she's really into it. I can really feel the emotion or whatever." But actually, on one line she said X thing, when really in the script it says Y thing.
Yeah.
Clearly, she's unprofessional, and her nepo baby status isn't enough to help her land this role. And everyone's like, "Oh wow, that's so true." Whoa. But then it turns out that Miho didn't even bother to look at the script that was handed to her because she remembered the lines just from reading the manga.
It turned out the script was wrong. They had a spelling error in it or something.
Yeah.
They made a little error.
Yeah, they made an error regarding the names of one of the characters. So that alone just shows her dedication to this one role. And then on top of her performance being like really fucking good.
All of the fans of Reversi vote for Miho, and she wins the role.
Hell yeah.
Tara Strong is mad, but
We've accomplished the original goal of the series.
yeah,
Yeah, that's
We
it.
can have sex and get married now.
in that order.
Yeah, premarital sex.
So they're like, okay, she got the voice acting role. The anime is starting the same day Reversi the manga ends.
Yeah.
And so they have this whole scene planned out of like the two deuteragonists fighting it out in the sky over like their ideals, and then one says to another, they realize, like, one person has a moment of clarity that like they're just like people possessed by demons fighting over like demon stuff, and it's like, you know what, we're humans at the end of the day, I'll see you in hell, and like crashes into the floor, killing both of them.
Yeah.
And there's like a double page spread of them lying in the middle of like, what's it?
During a busy street, no one cares, no one's paying attention to them.
It looked really cool.
It's so sick. But like the anime airs the same day. Mashiro comes up with a plan to pick up Miho like the second the first episode ends, and so like drives up to her house, picks her up. They drive to her old like mansion where they first met and made the deal to them. And then it was like, "Oh, I love you so much, Miho," and Miho was like, "I love you so much, Mashiro," and they kiss.
And that's Bakuman.
That's how the series ends.
Holy shit! Whoa!
There is
Brent?
hell yeah.
I just
So-
said that.
I guess like
I would have
epilogue.
Not once would I have made that correlation.
Epilogue. Eiji Nizuma sits alone in his room. His editor walks in. "I'm sorry, you're no longer the world's greatest mangaka." And Eiji Nizuma says, "Don't worry, I'll get back there." There never was a continuation. That's just how the series ends.
Holy shit, bro.
Just Eiji Nizuma determined to beat them one day. As Mashiro goes out with his cute girlfriend,
His
Miho.
his cute wife. Excuse me, pardon me.
Beyonce.
It was if I absolutely am forced to continue this series, at least there's something in the script.
Yeah, we have an angle now.
Yeah, alright, now tell us the story behind the making of Bakuman.
For some reason this ran longer than Death Note. I don't know, I thought that was notable. Bakuman, despite the fact that people don't know Bakuman, it had like video games, it had like...
It was big in Japan.
It was big in Japan, it just never made it over here, and...
Roland said it was unsuccessful.
I mean,
I've heard of it.
compared to other things...
What's the gameplay like in a Bakuman game?
Yeah.
It's like, I think it's like a visual novel, mostly, where you go through the plot of the manga.
Yeah, that makes sense.
There's not much information on it, because there's
Wow.
not like an English translation, and there's not, like, people haven't documented it online very well. It's a very obscure piece of media. But,
What's the side project of the JoJo guy?
I don't think Araki has a side project.
Oh, I thought you
are
were
you talking
saying
about Thus Spoke Rohan Kishibe?
I mean, yeah, I guess that, but he's not doing anything that's not JoJo related.
Gotcha.
Should get a Dead Man's Question OVA.
That would be cool.
Or fucking.
Monkeys Paw Curls, we get that instead of part 7.
Purple haze feedback. That's what I was trying to think of. Yeah.
Purple haze feedback instead
Oh my
of part
gosh, this was
7.
1995. It had Thanos and the
And
Infinity Gauntlet.
I look at
Shumagora.
I look at Marvel versus.
I have no
Capcom
idea what that was, but I
Infinity
kind of want to see somebody play this and play the octopus thing.
Oh, Roland. Yeah.
Yeah, alright.
I have no idea.
What made you want to give a lecture on Bakuman?
I liked it, and then
I started reading it. I started reading it, and I was like, Roland, this shit is awesome. You need to read it. And he's like, I don't know, it's kind of unsuccessful.
No, I never said I don't know. I said, I heard of Bakuman like once ever. I just don't think it's that big a
My
thing.
favorite part of that particular story you just told was how many registers you took your voice up to.
I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna like it.
Each register is another example of how much he hates me.
There are 2 buttons down here. You want to hit the one closest to you on the bottom.
Is this Marvel versus Capcom, or is this
Marvel
Yeah,
versus
there are the
superheroes.
Infinity Gauntlet right there.
But I mean, he is
The
in
other
Marvel vs. Capcom
Marvel
too.
fighting game.
Okay, let's get Marvel.